Hey everybody, Doug here from 2 Plus Tough, and I have two guests with me here tonight as we do a WYR reforging. Go ahead, gentlemen, and introduce yourselves to the audience.
Hi, I'm Craig.
Hello, I'm Jesse.
Jesse, yeah, so Craig's been on the show before. Twice now? 3 times?
Three times? I think
Three
it's been
times,
three.
yeah. And
Turns out you are.
and Jesse is just joining us, and I assume you guys are from the same gaming group. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, right on. So, yeah, we have a whole bunch of stuff to cover today, but as I always start these shows, let's talk about what we are working on. So, Jesse, you're our guest. Go ahead and kick us off.
When Gloomspite came out, they Games Workshop did the you can buy the old Goblin models from the old collections, the Madcap Shamans and the Loon Bosses. So I bought a bunch of those, and I'm putting them all together. Gonna base them up and do a little painting tonight while we talk.
It's awesome. And Craig?
I am building my Sisters of Slaughter for the first time instead of Witch Elves. It's very weird. And but their 6-inch pylon kind of saved me for exactly one round today. So okay, it's worth it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think the entire. I always wondered about that. The entire time I've seen you play Daughters, I've never seen you use them.
I know.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen you use any Medusa models too.
I'm not going to use those ever.
It looks so cool though.
But it's like one of the best units in the thing. It looks so awesome.
Yeah.
Right? They look amazing.
I have this whole thing in my head for my army, and snakes don't have to be involved unless Marathi's taking the field, and then she might bring some. But
Look at the staff on this guy.
that's really
Huge.
So,
Like the staff on this
hold
is
on.
just size.
Oh.
okay. No, you're fine. You're fine.
Like the staff comparison to his body alone is nuts.
That's funny. For me, actually, point my downward cam. It should be the downward cam anyway. Yeah. So I am working on some gnaw holes, as people can see, and it's these are a miserable kit. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I hate building these things. This is the worst. Their redeeming quality is you only need to build them once. You can't spam them.
What makes them so hard? Because we have a guy at our Path to Glory League who just put his together. He said he loved how easy they were to assemble.
So this part, the actual crater with the hole in it and stuff, is a piece of cake, and it is like it's everything you want in a model. 8 pieces snapped together perfectly. The scaffolding is just a pain. It's a pain,
Wow.
and I don't want to glue it down because I want to be able to transport it. And so then I just have 9 pieces of this weirdly long scaffolding, laying around everywhere. So,
Do you need the scaffolding?
well, I guess technically no, but
Aesthetic wise, it does look really good.
yeah, I kind of want it just because what am I trying to say? I really want to get on the stream, like the actual GW stream at Nova or whatever like that for the paired players, and so I think maybe conversion, that kind of stuff. I'm not sure how they feel about that. I haven't really looked at their older streams to know do they have folks who have what they would call incomplete models,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So
I had a couple friends who went to the LVO. I think it was if you got to the top 8, you were on the stream. All the models you had to be Games Workshops, and if they were converted, they had to be converted using bits from other of their kits. Wasn't that right? So I think though, if you get to the top, then they're going to want you to have the scaffolding on there to show the full model off, or
Yeah.
a conversion of some kind.
yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. But
Little details. Yeah.
yeah, just stuff you have to think about, just so you don't get disappointed later on. But,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's what I have going on. So let's see here. Do you guys play any games this week?
I've played two games this week.
Oh, nice.
At my Path to Glory, I played against Legion of Blood, and that was awful. Oh my god! All those a block of 40 skeletons with spears.
Oh, you
Demolished.
fought Mike.
Yeah, I fought your friend Mike.
Frickin' Mike.
He fought my buddy Mike for he plays a lot of 40K competitive, and I got him talking to him when we went up to a GT out in Toledo a couple months ago about it. He was like, "Yeah," because he plays Tyranids, and he's like, "Well, I want to do an elite army in AOS, and I like undead." I'm like, "Well, you can do it. You just gotta, choose a certain way and like go with like heavy hitters and stuff like that." So he decides to go and buy a vampire on Zombie Dragon, and then bought a lot 120 skeletons and started rebasing them all. And he showed me.
Yeah,
I
it's
was like,
super
"Oh,
elite.
yeah." I'm like,
Yeah. I like a block of 40 skeletons with spears will take out your Cauldron Blood at full health. Not sure if you guys know that, but I learned real fast.
And then Necromancer behind it too.
Yeah, that really didn't play any role in it. Like,
Okay.
just the amount of attacks they had. Like, unbuffed was more than enough. Like, okay, yeah. I might have had a chance, but then the objectives fell right underneath the piles of skeletons. I'm like, oh well, you got this game. Good job. Thank you.
Was it Star Strike or what it was?
Yeah, Star Strike. And then I played that same scenario today against our friend Kenny. That game was a lot closer until about the bottom of round 4, where Alariel finished off my remaining unit. But these Sisters of Slaughter prevented my Hag Queen from dying for one turn by piling 6 inches in front of the Tree Lord, and him having to kill them instead of her.
That one turn, man, that can be the turning point. Yeah. The last game I played was last Friday, actually. It was for it was helping one of our other buddy Josh get his last match in. It was the Monolith one. Are you familiar with that one, Doug?
From the Path to Glory?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was playing Beast Claw Raiders, and he was defending. So I'm doing my goblins, my Gloomspite, moving them all up. Well, he got first turn, so he moved in on me. He surrounded my 40-man mob of Spear Stabber Grots around my Loon Shrine. And then he realized that he had to kill me to a man because they are immune to battle shock.
Yep.
4 turns later, he finally destroyed.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome! I love it. Was that your game for the week?
That was my game for the week. Yeah. I actually tried a couple new relic in it. I tried the totem one for the madcap, where you, in the beginning of the combat phase, you pick a unit within 12 inches and you say you got to add 1 now to all your saving throws, and that made a big difference for him, because then I think they're normally 4 up. It made him a 5 up for some of them, and then my netters just ruined his day, and the fact that he constantly would be like, well, I normally need a 3 up, now I need a 4, and I'm just rolling 3s here and I can't get anything off.
I love it.
Well, I couldn't, on the flip side, I could not bring back, I had a unit of 20 shooters that died early on, and I could not roll a 4+ to save my life to bring them back to help out at all.
Ooh, that's no fun. There's a command trait for the Skaven, like the Master Clan, where like on every turn, no matter what, on a 5 up, you can get a command point. Mm-hmm. Something like that. I think, or refund a command point. It's that kind of thing. I think it's the same as Ether Quartz Brooch, but I don't know. I don't have any Master Clan models yet, but I'll get there. But the thing is, like, when you see those kinds of abilities, like, oh, that's awesome, it'll eventually happen, then it just never does.
Never. Guys, I just need to roll a 3 up.
Yep.
How was it? 2s and 1s today.
One day I'll see that 3.
One day I'll see that 3.
That's right. And you'll have earned it.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll tell you what. So, let's dive into, you guys reached out to me and wanted to do this show regarding a few very specific things. I thought they were really cool topics. So, let's see here. First, you want to talk about local gaming groups and communities. So, tell me, what were you wanting to talk about? Let's dive into it.
Well, you've been talking about how you've been working to build up your community in your area. So just kind of wanted to see how that was going. Our latest Path of Glory League is being ran by a friend of ours named Jim, and it's wonderful this time around. We've gotten there was at least 5 new faces this time that I've never seen, which is great to do. But I was just kind of like wondering, like, what have you been doing to get new people to come in? Like, how have you been promoting it? What have you been doing to keep people interested?
Because honestly, we've done no work.
Well, I've been promoting.
Yeah.
We got a tournament.
Don't say we.
We got to go on.
No. Yeah, I was gonna say I'll put my downward cam here so you can all watch me paint some dry brush some gnaw holes. For me, so basically, every store in our local area for Sigmar stuff always does it on Sundays. I think it's because every store owner intrinsically loves alliteration, so Sigmar Sundays is just like their jam.
That's genius.
Yeah.
Oh.
And but it doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for several other people, and so I started doing. I just said, hey, I have Thursdays available. There's a really great store nearby, and they sell GW products. They have a discount. They just have they're really bad at community building. So the place I'm talking about is Mox Boarding House in Bellevue, and there's also one in a town nearby called Ballard. Look, they bring products, but they don't really have employees that like take ownership of building a community.
Gotcha.
Which, I mean, people don't buy products for games they don't play. They don't play the games if they don't have a community. So they kind of shoot themselves in the foot. Anyway, so I put it out there like, hey, we have a local Age of Sigmar group for the Pacific Northwest. And so threw that up there. Like, this is where I'm meeting. And the biggest thing as I have found is just if you're going to start doing community building stuff, you got to be consistent. If you get there and there's no one there, just take a seat and sit there for 2 hours. Beyond that, the first night was really successful. There was I think 9 people showed up. 4 of them, they weren't really invested in AOS. There was I think these models are cool, and I always kind of wondered about them, and an employee told me to come. That's basically what it was. It helps, I would say, if you have... So for example, let's say you two are trying to grow a community, right? I would say it really helps to have a partner when you do that kind of stuff, because say Craig's giving a demo, Jesse, you can for the one guy who already knows how to play, I got you know what I mean? And you can,
yeah.
I guess the biggest thing is just making sure that everyone who does take the time to come walks away with a good experience, make eye contact, shake hands, and say, hey, thank you so much for coming. Nobody in Seattle likes to drive anywhere, so hey, you took some time to come here. I guess as far as that's kind of my focus as far as community building is no one leaves game night without having a great time and smiling. As far as events that I'm doing right now, we're kind of just doing pickup games every week. I will put an announcement on Facebook in our local Age of Sigmar. I say local, it's a huge area, right? It's Oregon to Canada. It's huge.
You said that whole Northwest area. That's a big area.
Exactly, yeah.
People travel pretty far.
But every week I put an announcement saying, hey, this is here when I'll be here. And I invite people hey, if you want to schedule a game with someone, in a comment below of that Facebook post, arrange it, and then someone will follow up and be like, I'll be there at 6 with this army, and someone can reply to them. And you kind of just start the dialogue. What else? I got, whatever store you guys play in, are they pretty encouraging of the hobby?
Yeah.
Because I spoke to...
Gives a good stock of selection and everything, too, And the workers are friendly.
Yeah.
The owners are nice. The owners are kid friendly, which is wonderful.
Oh, that's cool. That's important.
Yeah. Oh, my kids absolutely love them. They let them go behind the counter and pretend they're ringing people out and everything. They're great.
That's awesome. Because one of the things that it just happened this last... Well, I didn't go. I wasn't able to make it this week, but the week before then, the store... an employee reached out to me and said, if you want, you can host a tournament and we'll kick in a few bucks for prize support.
Oh, nice.
So I would definitely encourage you to ask them about that. Like, hey, if I wanted to run an event and I got 8 people in the store, would you kick something in? There's that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't. That's been it so far, and that just happened. So like, I do want to reach out and get an event going.
Well, we got. I'm running a 1,500 point tournament this upcoming Saturday at our local store, and the one thing that's nice is that for us it's normally $20 to get in, and off the 10 of it goes toward the prize pool, and 10 comes back to store credit because they do offer drinks and snacks and all that there. So that's the one nice thing.
I'd say 1,500 points is really hard to build for when you want to take everything.
Because you just like taking everything, you just like taking huge armies. Well, like I said, the next one I want to do is a 2K one, and I want to do a narrative one for us, which is nice.
Yeah, we also have a local, I guess, tournament circuit. Like in that Pacific Northwest area, there is a group called Victorious. Was it Victorious Secret? It's like a pun on Victoria's Secret, but it's victorious like we are
I've heard
victorious.
mentioned it before in the past. I heard you say it once before, and I looked up when I was working on something, and I was like, I think he said something.
But they're more hardcore competitive stuff. Super friendly people. I had a great time all the times I play against them. It's just they do a great job. What I've seen with them is they do a really good job of like escalating. So like it started off with like the first year they did events in the first couple months. It was just like bring whatever you have. And I think the first time there's a bunch of square bases, not stuff painted. Mm-hmm. And they kind of slowly escalated, I think, the point value, and now at the point where they're saying like, hey, there's painting requirements and that kind of stuff.
Oh.
Which is new. I mean, it's relatively new for our area, but that's really cool that they're doing that.
On that note, I picked this up from our 40K, like tournament circuit and all that. Those guys don't require you to have painting done. It's kind of encouraged, but it's like, hey, if you got a bunch of models you just put together last night, not fully painted, it's okay, bring them in. I took that and I'm incorporating that for our AOS tournaments, but I do it where if in between the first 2 battle rounds and we have lunch, I go, hey, if you guys have a model you want to that's fully painted, you can put it out, and then we'll have some of the people who work here judge them, and whoever gets the best, we think has the best one, will get a small little gift for doing it. So it's a nice little encouragement to, hey, get everything all together, make it look nice theme, because I know you like to go crazy with your snow bases.
Whoa! I do not use nearly enough snow for my snow base.
Dude, you have a snowman on your graphic.
But is he made with the actual GW texture paint?
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it. It's awesome. So expensive, so I can't use as much as I'd like.
I know, that's an $8 snowman right there.
It's a nice snowman, though.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It also has like little blood eyes and a blood mouth and blood little buttons. Blood for the blood god,
Wrong faction, but
that's super funny. What else? Yeah, I think that's mostly it as far as like the community building aspect. I think those are the biggest things. Is just you got to be consistent. I think on most nights we have 6 to 8 people. I think.
Nice.
Which is really awesome. The thing is, we're also fighting for space because they also have other games going on at night, like X-Wing, I think is a big thing, and some like they rotate their calendar a lot, so people have trouble figuring out what night is like which game night. So like I think we'll be there and they'll be like, "Oh, we're here to play War Machine and Hordes." And you're like, "No one's playing that. Like you're the only person, and you reserve the table, and that's cool. I like that game, but." But their understanding was like, 6 months ago, Thursdays was War Machine and Hordes night, and they just never, I guess, got the memo or something. I don't know.
It changed, yeah. Well, thankfully for our the place that we go to most often, it's Tuesday nights has always been like AOS night.
Nice. The thing we have is if there's not like a Path of Glory campaign going on, it's hard to get people to go up there.
Yeah. It starts to
Dwindle.
It would dwindle a little bit. I think we're gonna have to work on that after this one because we got another 6 weeks in this path of glory.
So are you saying the Path of Glory, it slows things down or it speeds things up? Like it gets
It
better?
speeds things up,
Oh, okay. I might have
which
to
is
try
nice.
that.
Yeah.
It's working for me because Gloomspite's a whole new army for me. I play orcs in 40k, so I love greenskins, and I was like, you know what, might as well just pick me up a green horde for AOS as well. And I'm slowly learning the army more and more now every week because I'm getting to add in new units, which is wonderful. Um, like I like if you said before, Craig, it's a great way to learn your army
Yeah.
and all that. And I know that you said that in the past too, Doug, about if you want to learn how your army works better, use the same like 1,000 point list
Mm-hmm.
bunch and then add 500 to it and just learn those little units, learn them back to front, keep going. So
Oh, totally. That's legit. I'll try that out. We're in this weird place where we have some folks who, um, they have a couple 1,000 point armies, and that's just what they play. They like to play the full games. And a few folks who are like, there's in particular, I can think of 3 people who are just like, yeah, I have these, and I bought the Soul War set because I think they look cool. What do I do with them? And so,
Yeah.
I think that might be a good idea. So I'm gonna do that.
But
Where do I
with the
go
people
next?
that like to play the full armies, they want to challenge themselves. They could just roll on the charts instead of picking.
Yeah, we did that with the Rerolling Ones campaign, and it was brutal sometimes.
Yeah.
Poor Jack with his corn guy. He never, I don't think, maybe once, but he couldn't get the roll to add more troops, and so yeah, it was kind of funny.
That's what I'm doing currently. I added some troops. I got 2 cauldrons and whatnot. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna start rolling on the buffs because I didn't do it last time, and I just want to see how things go.
Yeah.
See where I can get. I
How
got
long do your Path to Glories go for?
This one is 10
10
weeks.
Oh, okay, that's
Uh,
a good little contained thing.
yeah.
The gentleman who is running it this time, he was out for about a month. He had surgery, so he used all that downtime to just go through all the plans every week. What was this and that?
Yeah.
He what was it? Week 4, he made it so that you can take endless spells, and he based them off of, I think it was, if they're 80 to 80 plus points normally in match play, they're worth a follower and 2 glory points.
Yeah.
To add them into your army.
Okay. Ooh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it did a little thing like that, and I ended up a buddy of mine gave me as a gift the endless spells for Gloomspite. And I gotta say, I love putting models together that are only 3 pieces.
Isn't that beautiful?
Right? Like the moon is 2 pieces. You snap it on there, put it on the base, you're done. I might have to pin this guy. He is
I
just
love it.
that.
Yeah. Any more questions about? I can
You
answer
brought
about
up.
my group. Huh?
You brought up that the one group does competitive tournaments for AOS. How does that like go? Because I don't think I've ever seen a competitive AOS tournament around here.
Yeah.
I don't think it gets that much love. And I've always kind of heard like the rumor that like AOS isn't out of like 40k and AOS. You want to go. It's easier to go competitive 40k than it is for AOS to be competitive. Like, what do they do to make it more?
Um, so this is all opinion.
Mhm.
I will push back on that, saying I think AOS is a better competitive format than 40k. And the reason I push back on that is because if you look at like the rules errata and the amount of like information that players have to know for 40k, it is abysmal how many changes they've made to that game. Where they keep tuning it for competitive play, but the more they do so, the harder and harder it is to keep up with all the changes they make. They've
Mhm.
had like 2 massive erratas. I mean, it's edition wise, it is fundamentally a different game than when it launched, but it's just still the first edition. So I disagree with that point. As far as what they do, the ITC does have an Age of Sigmar format guide as far as
Oh,
like 2,000 points. They use the Best Coast Pairings app system, which you don't have to do. But yeah, what else do they do?
I never knew that. I never knew I never knew there was an ITC format for AOS.
Well, it's just like a recommended thing as far as like, hey, here's how you can score your games.
Okay.
They have some, like you can. The ITC thing is really cool because basically you can do whatever you want as a tournament organizer. I mean, realistically, you can do whatever you want all the time. But stuff like what we do locally is we do have Realmscape features, endless spells. It's a 2,000 point game. Yeah. It's we do almost everything I can think of. I can't think of anything. We do Forge World models. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've done ITC for 40K. Gonna have cat fur on it. Yep, that's cat hair. But I never knew that there was an ITC format style for AOS. I'm gonna have to check that out in my own time then later.
Yeah, I the amount like the rules interactions I think for AOS are much clearer than some of the ones in 40K are as at a competitive level, like for tournament stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I prefer it just game system wise, but
I mean, I don't want to sound biased or anything as playing only like exactly one game of 40K, but I definitely think AOS is a better system.
I mean, I don't want to sound biased, having a YouTube channel solely dedicated to Age of Sigmar, but I think it's pretty cool. Someone in the chat just mentioned the AOS double turn is probably the biggest thing for competitive players to get around.
I think that's the thing that makes it the most intriguing and makes it more tactically sound.
When I was teaching Michael how to start some of the rules and like his first match and all that, it kind of blew his mind a little bit, and he was like, "Wait," so I'm like, "No, you roll off now again for the next one to see." He was like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, like you can get a double turn, and you got to deal with this." And
see, that's something he was talking to me about when I was playing against him. He was like, I don't like it. It makes it so it's not competitive. It's like it's not very fair. I'm like, I think that's great. So you can't plan for your turns. I'm like, you can plan for your turns. You also should plan for not getting a double turn or your enemy can't. You shouldn't stretch yourself out so thin.
Yep. Too many combats you can't handle, and
you gotta be more tactical in it rather than just pure just be super aggressive.
That was another thing too, because in 40K, when you charge in, all your charge units go and all that, and I'm like, it's not going to work that way for AOS. Don't be thinking you can charge 3 to 4 units in, and all of a sudden, no, you one at a time back and forth. So, you got to think far more tactically.
Yeah.
Speaking of tactics, I know you brought up, you were talking about how you wanted to talk about dealing with the Deepkin turn 3 eel.
I don't like Deepkin. So I'll take 40 skeletons with freaking lances over eels and turn 3 Deepkin with their named hero on the little seahorse thing. That was ridiculous. I don't know how you deal with that. These 3 guys get extra attacks on top of always fighting first, and I'm going to wipe out your whole army.
And I'm going to charge you this turn too, so I'm automatically getting all that extra.
Yeah. I mean, my strategy just involves with losing and then going and getting a beer and having a moral victory, but I've only played it once, so I don't know.
I've never had the pleasure of having the eel train come at me, so Craig just seems so defeated when you're talking.
See, I played against his Deepkin, Jesse's Deepkin, before I played against his, and I stomped them. I destroyed his turtle and everything. It was great.
Yeah, but when I played Deepkin, I went turtle and foot troops. Yeah. I don't go all eels and sharks and all that. So.
I didn't realize how good those were, and so I went in there pretty confidently, and that backfired. That backfired a lot. The advice I got was just hope you got enough mortal wounds to deal with them. I'm like, that's not a very good tactic tactical advice, but okay.
I hope you can roll well on those saving throws.
Yeah.
You're going to need them.
I love it.
Like, either you kill him before turn 3 or you die.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly how it goes. Yeah.
It's like when Josh brought his Beast Club Raiders and he told you, like, hey, these guys are going to be really rough. And then you got a match in with them, and then you were like, all right, you told me these guys are going to be brutal on the field. I did not expect this much of a mammoth stomping.
Michael, that's another time my cauldron was full health to just being dead right away. I was like, oh. And that was from shooting. Okay.
You have to love the dirty snowball, man.
So mean.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm not the tactics guy. I lose so much.
Yeah, but maybe you learned something when you're losing that maybe be applicable there, because mine was like, well, I'm just going to just eat that every time.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Speaking of losing and all that, how are your overlords doing? Mine are on
they're loserific, but they're fun. They're pretty.
They're beautiful to look at on the field. Yeah,
even better when I take them off and really gaze at them as I'm putting them back in the case. No, I mean, they're good actually. So I developed mine as Barrack Mornar, and their big thing is like their command, their special rule they get for being Mornar is like, at the shooting phase, you pick a dude from your enemy's army, and you're just like, screw that dude, and everyone gets to reroll hits against them. And Carriage and Overlords, their problem is hitting, so like that's super good. It doesn't incentivize you to bring boats. It incentivizes you to bring lots of guns on the ground, and so that's kind of the thing where it's like, I love the paint scheme, I love the army, but I want a reason to take boats, and I don't have one yet.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the new General's Handbook for this year to come out and see if they make any changes to them and go from there. I would like to see like the boats, their sky cannons, to get maybe a little bit of a buff and range instead of just being 18 inches. Give me like a 24, because I know the drill gets 24, but the sky cannon only gets an 18. And the frigate and the gun hauler both have the same stat line, though the frigate says it's a heavy sky cannon, which doesn't make any sense to me. So,
yeah, I said before, when they get the Shadespire Warband, what I really want them to do is make that hero just have a flare gun. Whenever the flare gun hits, everything gets +1 to hit on. Like that's that's it. Give me a flare gun.
There you go. I'm down for that. That works beautifully.
They play a lot like Tau from 40K, but without marker lights, which is like the saddest kind of Tau, and that's a problem.
I don't get the reference.
It's a very sad Tau. It is very sad Tau.
So basically, the thing with Tau is they're a shooting army, but they're terrible at shooting, except that they have this game mechanic where a drone can light up an enemy, basically, and like everyone gets better to hit them, and there's all kinds of bonuses and that kind of crap. But
you can add up to like 5 marker lights on someone, so you get to the point where you're getting a +1. You're denying their cover. You get to shoot these one-time misses. It's a bunch of crazy stuff, but it really helps them out.
Yeah, so you take a bunch of people who are bad at shooting, and you make them a shooting army because you create synergies and that kind of stuff like that. So.
Gotcha. Somebody asked where you got your pineapple tea.
Oh, I got my pineapple tea? Oh, Kara found this for me at a Walmart, and I love it. And I want to go back, and I want to get more.
Whole wardrobe of pineapple tea. Perfect.
It's just going to be a bunch of fruit. That's all it's going to be, Someone put up, I saw a meme the other week, actually. It was a person put up a pineapple that was cut in half, and on top of the pineapple was these tiny little pizzas. Everyone bought it, and they're like, if you don't like pineapple on your pizza, well, how do you feel about pizza on your pineapple? I'm like, I kind of want that on a shirt, just to make people look at me and be like, I don't know what it is about him, but there's something about him that just makes me uncomfortable right now.
Yeah, it's because you're talking about pineapple and pizza, which should never be in the same sentence.
All right, I've had some good pineapple and pizza before, right?
You gotta get out.
There's a door. So I got the next topic here for us. We wanted to discuss the pros and cons of the tournaments that I've been to.
Oh
Yes.
Yeah. So I've
Good
been.
stuff you've seen, bad you've seen.
Those
Yeah.
cards again. I like hearing that story just to begin with.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So I'll put my downward cam while I'm talking, so it's not quite as boring to look at.
You got a wonderful face, and I'll stare at it all day,
Oh,
Doug.
I just meant if I'm looking
Have
downward, all
you
you
seen
see
my
is
mug?
fro.
All right, I'm going to turn you to stone.
Exactly. Right now I'm doing the red interlacing of all the scratch marks on this thing. As far as the tournaments I went to, the first one I went to, I made a video about not having the best time. Where like,
Remember that video?
I got a bye, and then we started our second round super late, and so I actually had to duck out. I wasn't going to be there until like 11 o'clock at night. So that one was cool. That was with the Victorious Secret guys who do the tournament circuit. Everyone was incredibly nice. I'll say that. I think
It was a good thing.
Yeah, I think if you're going to your first event, instead of thinking about winning, you should probably just think about like meeting new people and having fun, and losing. You know what I mean? That should just be your expectation because you don't know what's out there. So that was kind of my expectation, was just to go there, lose, meet people, and have a good time, and that's kind of what I did. And the second event, the one that what I consider like the real event, is because I stayed for the whole thing. Was at Mox Boarding House, the place that I normally game at. They have, like I said, a second location, and the gentleman running the event there, it was a Krampus themed event, and so it was the standard 2,000 point game. There was Realmscape features and pre-selected missions. Malign sorcery was a thing, so you could bring endless spells and artifacts from the realms and that kind of stuff. So everything you would do normally for a regular game. The twist was that when you showed up, he gave you like these individually wrapped cards. And if you've ever seen, oh sorry, I'm very quiet. My head was past my microphone. If you have ever seen Magic the Gathering, when they have like collectible cards, like the ones that are super rare, they have like those hard plastic covers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was 3 of those all individually wrapped as presents with a little bow on them. And so everyone before the game started, or before the tournament started, walked up, grabbed one of those things, and the rule was you could open a present. Some are good, some are bad. It's all just Krampus blessings. And you could, at the start of your turn, open a present once per turn. So you could have a game where you opened all 3 for your first 3 rounds, or you could spread them out. I chose to spread them out because I wanted to be laughing all day. And and they were just individually like. He probably could have done a better job of balancing. Some people got 3 really, really bad ones, and then I got 3 really, really good ones. They didn't help me a whole lot, but
What did you get for yours?
So one of mine was, for example, it was like give an enemy a super evil dried out fruitcake, and so you pick an enemy unit, and they have their charge rolls for the rest of the game.
That's mean.
Yeah, and all 3 of my opponents that day were Stormcast armies, and so they don't move fast as is. They're not a speedy army except for Paladors, really. So that was cool. There was one that, I guess it was a negative one. It was randomly determine a unit, so you have to like roll off to see which unit of yours gets it. And they have to take a battle shock test, and basically take a battle shock test, right? You roll over, and if it goes over their bravery, they lose dudes. Which would be really punishing if I was playing Skaven at the time, and it lands on Clan Rats, their bravery 4. I would just lose 2 dudes on a 6.
Yeah.
But it landed on a hero, and they don't run away, which was by design. So, trying to think of the other ones. I actually grabbed a bunch of them, but I don't know where I put them now. But yeah, no, it was fun. And so it just, what's cool about it and what I liked about that format was it was a standard game Age of Sigmar, right? Straight out of the rulebook with Malign Sorcery and Realmscapes features and all that stuff. And there's this optional thing that if, some people, they weren't into that for whatever reason. I think they're crazy. I think that was the most fun thing ever. But they weren't into it, and so they just didn't engage with it. But it was so optional, and the bonuses, they weren't, one unit in your opponent's army having their charged resistance is not game breaking. It's just annoying. So
makes it even better though when you roll that double box card and you still get just enough to get in there.
Exactly, yeah. It create honestly what it was is it creates drama. And that's the good kind of drama on Battlefield. And that was pretty much that. And so yeah, I opened mine up I think the start of turn 2 for every single one of my 3 games. Yeah, it was just a blast. The TO said it was just a lot of work to kind of individually wrap that many things, but he did a great job.
How many people were at that tournament?
Let's see. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 16 of us, maybe 18.
Not bad. It's not bad at all.
Counting tables in my head, and then 2 people. Yeah, so I think something like that. Yeah, no, it was a great time. And that one wasn't. That was just run by a local store, and a lot of the same guys from the competitive organizer group in the area showed up, but it wasn't a competitive event. It was meant to be fun and tongue in cheek and that kind of stuff. So it was my kind of thing, right? A little more laid back. Everyone finds this ridiculous, but we're all having a good time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd say of the 2 events, with the competitive stuff, everyone was super nice and inviting, and I enjoyed the company there. I would say that not coming from a competitive background, a lot of it was kind of like, I got there, and they said, "Oh, do you have your list on Best Coast pairings?" I'm like, "I don't know what that is," and so I kind of hold my hand through making my list on BCP and then getting that all set up. I don't know. It was just kind of a lot more of a chore, but they need that for record keeping and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
To get the real winner of the event and those kinds of things. The more competitive stuff. So yeah,
I don't know what it is.
It's an app that runs everything, and if you register on it, you can see where you are ranked throughout the world.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what it is, it helps you with it's called Best Coast pairings. It is a useful tool as far as if you're a TO, you just type in what everyone's scores were when they were done, and it calculates who should play next.
Oh, okay. So download that.
Yeah. And what's cool about it, there's some cool features to it. It really is a neat little project that a few gamers put together. But what's also cool is that because it's an app, everyone just has it on their phone, and so you're not a TO chasing everyone down for a result. They just type it into their phones and it's done.
Mm-hmm.
So
I know the lot of 40K guys use that stuff for the events around here. It just makes it easier.
Yeah, it's definitely big for them. Because everyone likes to be that guy who's like, yeah, I'm the number 1 ranked Sisters of Battle player, and you're like, yeah, there's 6 of you. That's awesome.
Congratulations.
I think the number's now 18, but
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Well, I remember you did a video talking about the Krampus tournament and talking about the cards, so that led me to being like, you know what, I'm going to make some of those kind of cards myself now for the tournament coming up for them. And I forgot about the negative ones you told you. So I'm gonna start putting those in there, man. I'm gonna stack your deck. Your deck's you're gonna hate me.
I don't know. The last 3 lists I've played against with Canada Test, I have lost. So I'm expecting it. 1,500 points is a weird list for me to build because I've always built 1,000 or 2,000, not in between.
Yeah, it's actually I noticed that Games Workshop when they post coverage of the events that they do in their actual building over in England, they tend to be a lot of 1,500-point games. I'm like, that sounds interesting and a lot of fun. I want to do that. So we do it quite a bit for rerolling ones, 1,500 points, with but with still like I think 3 battle line requirement, that kind of thing. It's pretty cool.
That's what we're doing for ours.
Yeah. It's been an interesting challenge. I'm trying to make it work because I like to take Doomfires in a block of 10 for the straight 6 mortal wounds, but that's too expensive.
I'm making you work. I'm making you evolve as a player now. You got to become better.
Making you grow as a person.
You got to grow as a person.
I don't want to take Marathi in a 1,500-point list because in a 1,000-point list, she's mean versus anybody.
Right.
1,500 points. They have options now. A lot more options, and Marathi can only do so much.
That's fair. I actually just played against her for the first time the other day.
I saw that picture.
It's brutal.
Yeah, she's fun. I love her.
That's not what I said. She's brutal.
Yeah, she's fun. I love her. She's the best.
Let's see here. Unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of tournament experience to draw from, but I do want to do more this year. I can report back on those for sure. But I think the next thing... Go ahead.
I expected a fully typed report.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Dossier on every player locally. And
Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think there's a big event at a convention here in August. I think there's a local event in September. Or no, in April. April, I think. So I don't know. I'm going to play around, see what I can get to. The biggest thing is I want to get the Skaven all built and ready. Today was a lot of hobby progress for me. So
how much did you get done?
What did I get done? Basically, I've been in build mode, so I have now 20 Acolytes for Scryer stuff ready.
Nice.
3 Storm Fiends. Just finished the Warp Lightning Cannon.
The Warp, yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
What's up?
The Warp Lightning Cannon, that's the big one, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Should be like the Screaming Bell, too.
That's the one that comes in the Karen Empire box, right?
Oh.
Yeah, it's
is that one?
The
Eventually pop up.
Yeah, let me see here.
Yep.
Is it Downward Game now? Yeah. So
yep, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's this little crew hops on there, and they have a really cool thing where they don't actually roll to hit or wound, so it gets around any kind of negative modifiers.
So how does it actually work then? Like, what are the rules for it?
Yeah, so basically what it is he's got a 24-inch range. You pick your target, and then you roll a die, and that die is called like your power die. You put that to the side, and then you roll 6 dice, or you can overcharge it and roll 12. Like all Skaven technology, you can overcharge it into oblivion and blow yourself up. But with this one,
only way.
yeah, typically you would roll 1 die, and every die roll that you make that is equal to or greater than your power die, the first one you rolled, is a mortal wound. Just straight up, there's nothing, no hit, no wound.
Yeah.
And so the way it goes is like if you roll a 1 for your power die, it is instantly 6 mortal wounds because you can't roll below a 1.
Oh.
And so
Man.
And the thing with the power charging is you can roll 2d6 on the damage, right? Like to see how much damage goes through. But if that's a double, then you just pretty much explode.
Jeez.
Which sounds like a fair trade. So, I mean, and there's been games that are like they're recorded online where they rolled that hot one, overpowered it, and dished out 12 mortal wounds. Just bam.
That's funny. I like that. God, now I want a Skaven army. This ain't good.
See, You're going to fight a Skaven player now at the tournament with that, and then there's just going to be 12 more wounds. And all you're going to do is just going to have to like shake your head. You're going to be like, all right, well, time to move on.
Yep.
That's a smoldering crater.
Pretty much, yeah.
All I'm hearing is you should take Morathi. That way you don't have to worry about that.
Why is that?
Just get those 3 wounds on me.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, she was brutal against the Scryer stuff.
Good to know. Yeah, so maybe I should take Morathi. A lot of people are playing Skaven now.
Yeah, they're pretty iconic.
Oh, that was a question. So for your group, how diverse are the armies that show up?
Like our gaming group on Thursdays?
Yeah.
Well,
We got Doug there.
yeah, so I changed armies by the time everyone else breathes in the room.
Jesse does the same thing. It took
Yo, overlords are in storage. They're waiting. All right.
Honestly, that's why I have them too. Like I take them out now because they're painted and they're like a really good softball army for doing demos and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I don't bring those to win. I bring those to be a good sport. I'm still waiting for them to get a new book as well. As far as like other stuff that's represented, Jack from Rerolling Ones comes and he has Stormcast, Khorne, and Flesh Eater courts now because we split the Carrion Empires thing.
Those Flesh Eaters right now are nice.
Yeah, dude.
Kelly's loving it with her 4-up, bring back her giant block of ghouls.
Oh, I forgot she played Flesh Eater. That is legit.
Yeah. She's never won a game until this new... Well, she started winning, and now with this new book, she has not lost a single game.
So you got some gas in the tank now?
Yeah, she's not even taking the one with the dragons as battle line. She's taking the one where it's like, I just get to bring back my ghouls on a 4-up. Like, stealing objectives out from under you. Like,
I love it.
Yeah, she's having a blast.
She's the only Flesh Eater Quartz player I've seen, too.
I know. That's the only one I've seen, too. I thought it would get big, but no, everybody's after that Skaven. We were able to get like 3 different halves of the box. Because people were just trying to get rid of them.
Yep, that makes sense. People, I don't know. I still think Flesh Eaters is one of the most approachable armies for new folks. I love it.
I even started kitbashing some. We got so many ghouls now. I went to another local store to find old Empire and Bretonnian parts.
Oh, yeah.
Kitbashing them up. Because we have so many ghouls and she can't use them.
Might as well start doing something else with them, man.
Yeah.
How many ghouls does she have?
I don't know how many come in those boxes, but she had like 200 before we got them.
Oh my god!
Because she just bought a whole bunch.
20 come in the Carrion Empire set.
Yeah, dude.
We had a few start collecting boxes, and then we bought a bunch off Kenny because he had a few start collecting boxes. He had like 4, and then yeah.
Was he getting ready for the apocalypse? What?
No, he thought
his store. It's just
he thought Kenny had a lot of armies, and he's just So she ended up with a lot of ghouls because Ghoul Patrol had an endless number back in the day.
Yeah,
they just keep adding to it, but they took that away, so we didn't need the ghouls anymore.
Right on. Yeah, between that, we also have a lot of Stormcast players. One of the viewers and awesome people, Mike Ham, comes down from Bellingham every once in a while with his Khorne, and he just brought his Iron Jaws, which are freaking sweet. Also, I've never seen anyone play Iron Jaws without using a battalion. Like, they just always run battalions. And he was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to load it up with as many brutes as possible. And it is devastating. Like, because they're slow, but they just walk in a straight line, and it's like you can't stop it. Like, it's just a wall of beef.
Just Red Rover at you.
I was like, what? And it seems dumb to be like, wow, what a bold new way to play the army without battalions. And then you're like, well, if no one else does it, it is kind of unique. I like it.
Maybe there's something going on here.
Especially outside the box.
It just feels weird to be like, yeah, outside the box is just, basically just playing the game as it is.
Not getting complicated.
Exactly, yeah. Simplifying it is revolutionary, so. But it's cool stuff.
I wish we had more Iron Jaws players.
I only played against one guy. No, there was two. Because in one of the old Path of Glory leagues, we had two people show up, and the one guy only showed up for a little bit.
Yeah.
Both of them came with Cavalry. That's what they went heavily with.
Yeah.
So I haven't fought against a lot of brutes on the ground, and I think they're wonderful models.
The Iron Jaws?
Yeah, the Iron Jaws. I love the Mega Boss because I've done it myself for my 40K orcs, and I've seen that model used a bunch too. You just take him, and then you convert him up to be a war boss and mega armor and everything else, and
Yeah.
it just looks awesome. So.
Yeah, the only model in that range I'm not a huge fan of is the Weird Knob Shaman, because he looks like he has to pee.
He does.
Because his knees are bent inward. And you're like, why? He didn't need to be big and beefy like everyone else. He just didn't need to look like that.
I never saw it like that until you just said it, and I'm never not going to think like that again.
Dude, I have that model in my car right now.
Of course you do.
I use him for 40K. He's great.
Yeah, and now he just needs to pee all the time.
Yeah.
So, it's a good little diverse crowd. I think every once in a while a gentleman with Seraphon comes. There's a guy who I don't even know if he watches the show or that, but like he converted a whole lot of Tzeentch stuff. So he has like this amazing Demon Prince of Tzeentch, and I don't know, it's insane. He said he's more of a hobbyist than he is like an actual gamer with that. So
The way I've been losing games lately, I think I am too.
Yeah, no. Makes you, man, I'm really good at painting, as you lose a whole bunch. Yeah.
These models look so good, just getting picked up by the handful right now. Love it. Not sure if you played against Alariel yet. Don't be near terrain if she charges. Learn that the hard way. Don't be near multiple pieces of terrain if she charges as well.
Ugh.
That's funny. So the next little thing on our docket here is talking about running tournaments.
So on the topic of tournaments, because you just brought up Seraphon for summoning, one of the things I was wondering about is for the tournaments that the two tournaments you went to, was there any kind of restriction on summoning? And this fact of like how many extra units you were allowed to bring with you, or anything else? Because I know if at a 1500 point or 2K, Seraphon army can bring the slant mage priests, and you can really start banking those points to start summoning in units. So, because we have a fellow gamer who has a huge Seraphon army to the point where I think it's like those big tubs you would put Christmas ornaments away in that he can pull in and bring those in. So if he wants to, he can summon as many units as he possibly can. Was there ever like a restriction on any kind of like how much you can bring with you to the tournaments, or no?
I'm not sure you're talking about. There's three people.
No, there was no restriction as far as I know. Jack's in the chat, and his brother plays Seraphon. Jack, was there anything that you remember as far as a restriction? I think I don't think there was. We'll give him a second to answer because there's like a 40-second delay between when I say something and when everyone in the chat hears it. But as far as I know, there wasn't. I know Nurgle stuff. I played against a Nurgle player, and she could just do whatever she wanted.
That answers that question.
Yeah.
Well, I bring it up because when I ran that slow grow for us, when we got to the 1,000 points, one friend, Chris, fought one of the other guys, Blake. Blake was one of the guys who had all those extra models, and then by the end of the fifth turn, no, it was the beginning. It was the 500 points. It was the first week of it. Blake, at the end of the game, had 1,500 points worth of Seraphon on the field.
Yeah.
By the time it was done. And the reason why Chris stayed alive is because he was playing Sylvaneth, and he hid in the trees. And he made him work for it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's just
I get that. If you're doing like a slow grow as like a very specific format, and then in that instance, I would definitely say you can rein it in without any problems. If you're just talking about like a general, like let's just play AOS tournament, I don't think so. But I don't think it's the norm to have that kind of stuff, like that kind of restriction.
okay.
I don't know. I really want Seraphon to get a book to bring them in line. Like the last few books they had with summoning, I think have been far. Well, I say that, and then also I get my teeth kicked in by Flesh Eater Chords, but I was gonna say far more reasonable.
Well, I
um,
think they're reasonable.
I do too. Honestly, I do. I don't think they're broken at all. Because they can only do it once, right? It's not like a mechanic where they can keep investing in it and that kind of stuff. So
No, I mean like it. Like if you bring a whole bunch of Ghoul Kings, you could do it a whole bunch, but it's like once per model.
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, true. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
so it's yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. As far as I know, there are no restrictions on that kind of stuff. But
All right.
yeah, the thing
I
is
just didn't know.
like the stuff that they can really spam it tends to not be the greatest. Like I mean, like in true spam, like if they're gonna bring a unit in every single turn, that kind of stuff.
I mean those skinks are pretty annoying.
They're annoying, yeah.
We're just gonna run away right now instead of fight. Dang it!
Yeah. But I don't know. Seraphon are an interesting army where the rarest thing in Age of Sigmar is a content Seraphon player, just because they'll
Yeah,
they'll kick your teeth in and then
how garbage they are.
talk about how good they aren't, or that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so-
But yeah, I don't know. So it's interesting, but they do have some of the more interesting summoning mechanics. I don't know. I'll have to ask. I need to ask. I don't think Jack's paying attention in the chat anymore, but I'll have to ask about that.
See, I've never done any big tournaments for like conventions and all that, so I never known if they ever had like Games Workshop or any other places ever put a little restriction in on it, like you can only bring so much extra stuff or something like that, or just don't walk in with the Christmas sized tub of extra models.
No, I think they want you to do that because that means you bought a
Oh, yeah.
Christmas tub size model. So I bet they're like, "Hey, can I help you with that? Like, you got another one in your trunk? I can go help get that if you want."
We'll get the dolly for
Is
you
it
right now.
Is it empty? Because we could fill it up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Seraphon summoning is that bad. I haven't played against any of the Chaos armies that summoned yet.
I have not played against any of them either. I don't think we have any Chaos armies in this Path of Glory this time, too.
Oh, really?
Oh, no. We got Nurgle.
We do have Nurgle.
Yeah. So I played against all the Chaos armies, and theirs are interesting. I think Slanesh is the most interesting of them, but I think.
Slanesh is because you got to get your heroes in there, and then you got to start causing wounds without killing things.
Exactly, yeah. Or being hurt without dying.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a very fine line to walk.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, or you just plan on it and have a whole bunch of heroes that are meant to die.
Yeah.
Just funnel in as many heralds as you can.
Fun fact, if you bring the Beast of Chaos Slanesh Battalion, you can have a Dragon Ogre Shaggoth in there, who every Dragon Ogre Shaggoth is just a straight up 8 points for you, because they have 9, so that's right, they could be 9 points for you. Just let them die, and then you get a whole bunch of demons.
Huh.
There you go. You should get your Slanesh back.
Kevin's got that. He's using that real well. I have a bunch of Angors chilling in my place, and I think I'll be honest. I have my Zangors. Got 2 squads of them, and I'm like, that Beast of Chaos Start Collecting box looks pretty good over there.
Yeah.
I could do this,
But with but compared to like the Slon and Seraphon, I gotta just take out that Slon.
Yeah, once you blow that out of the water, yeah. But
well, the problem is that little teleporting away and running away thing is the issue when it comes to trying to kill.
I agree. I don't think summoning is the issue. I think in a scenario-based game, the strongest thing about Seraphon is the Lords of Space and Time teleport thing.
I must say, making it with Daughters of Khaine being able to teleport has been really fun. I know why they like to do that now.
That's why Gloomspite's got the Hand of Gork. Pick up a unit of 60 grots and throw them.
Yeah, dude.
I had a buddy of mine tell me, he's like, what you need to do is you got to take a min unit of Shootas and you put a bunch of Fanatics in there, Hand of Gork them behind the enemy line, release your Fanatics, let them do their stuff, and then just shoot. And I'm like, that's dirty pool, and that is a great tactic.
Oh, it's incredible.
That's perfectly with the Gloomspite.
Yeah. As far as other tournament stuff, because I've never run a tournament, but it is on my hobby bucket list, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I reached out to some of the gentlemen who are running the Nova narrative event over in Virginia. Because if I was going to run an event, it would be a narrative thing. But reached out to them, and they actually directed me, and I'll put it in the show notes when this is all said and done. But they have a website called We Are the Neons, and what it is Neons meaning narrative event, or sorry, We Are the Neos, I think it was. Narrative Event Organizers, NEO. Yeah, and so it's just a ton of resources for helping folks do events and everything. Like, it's a step-by-step process, like get a store, talk about this, here's how to promote things, that kind of stuff.
That sounds wonderful.
So it's pretty cool, and I'll put a link to that down below. But
Thank you.
Yeah.
We would have never known that if we did not talk to Doug right now.
I don't know, right? Really?
It's a cool thing of resources for you. They go into some of like the events that they've had. Like they post all of their like, how do you word it? Like, these are the rules we used and that kind of stuff. Like to get their specific narratives that they're trying to go for. Let's do the downward cam here. But it's not mandatory for anything like that. So you can just kind of pick and choose the rules you want and make your own event of your dreams.
Like a good set of guidelines for you.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like a pirate code.
Like a pirate code.
Yes, make it up as you go. So, yeah, I will do that. That's kind of been my thoughts lately as far as like doing events. Like I definitely want to do something. It's just a matter of like, well, before this last week, I didn't realize I had a store on board that was like, yes, do an event. We'll support you with prize money and junk. I was like, oh, sweet.
You know what we should do? And again, this might sound biased. But you should come over to Cleveland and run an event.
Oh, yeah. That's,
just up on the first plane.
You just got done with that snowstorm over near you, right?
Yeah, we're still surviving it. Actually, it just snowed today a little bit, too.
Come on out to Cleveland. You never know what's going to be like weather-wise.
Yeah, when I lived on the West Coast, I don't remember it snowing that much.
Yeah, it was we survived. But let's see here. These things are coming along pretty well. Let's take a look if you're interested.
Yeah, I will. With this 40-second delay, I'd love to look at it.
Yeah. I don't know how I can speed that up. But let's see what else we got.
I love it. I like the red and the rock.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I like them. They're pretty cool looking. I think once I get the wood done, I like the scaffolding. I think they'll look good when they're done. But
I'm loving the green inside there, and it all looks good.
Thank you. Let me see. Give me a second. I'm just grabbing more colors here.
No, you're good. Speaking of colors, you need?
Yeah, you sprout out the window.
Yeah, there's a table literally right there, and I do it all on. They're all good.
I can do that real quick.
There's a box too if you want to just carry them in a box and carry them in.
Your next thing was asking about conventions and stuff like that.
Yeah, like different ones you wanted to go to.
Oh yeah. Were you talking about going to the Nova Open, or were you just?
Oh yeah. I'm going. Yeah, I'm gonna go over with my partner in crime, Jack from Rerolling Ones. And so basically how it panned out was I was all kind of primed. I even did a live stream of like, hey, help me build a narrative list and that kind of stuff. I went through a few Skaven ideas, and I was kind of excited about it. And then Right as so, like the tickets went live and the site that they had for buying them just like it didn't crash, but it got real slow. Like,
Almost correct.
yeah, exactly. Where like I was sitting at the PayPal checkout screen for about a solid 6-7 minutes, wondering if I had to like go back and start over. I think it was just all the 40k players. I'll be honest with you. But I managed to. We had discussed before, like we knew we were both going, talking about what events we wanted to do, and he's interested in the grand event, like the big hardcore competitive tournament sort of things, which I had no interest in, but that's cool.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do the narrative, but we found out that scheduling wise, we couldn't do a team tournament and the narrative event. You had to choose. And so I thought to myself, like, well, I mean, I plan on doing these a whole bunch, but I don't know how often I'll have an opportunity when my friend comes with me. And so I decided, like, I'm not going to do the narrative. I'm going to do the doubles with Jack and just really, really enjoy my friend and have a blast with him, hit some good memories. Because that's what it's all about. So yeah, this will be my first convention. Traveling across the country over to Virginia, and should be a ball. So basically, I listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of 40k podcasts. One of the things that they've talked about when they talk about going to conventions is just don't overbook yourself. Like it's super easy to like, oh, I can do this, oh, and I can do this, and then you just have no time to like meet people and hang out and
relax and enjoy yourself there.
Yeah. And so basically I'm doing the team tournament and 2 painting seminars, and then that's pretty much it. The rest of it's going to be meeting people and shaking hands and walking the vendor hall and getting pickup games in with anyone who is in the area and wants to game with me.
Yeah, that sounds so fun. I looked at it and then I looked at Kelly. I was like, so you think we find a babysitter for that time? Or is this too last minute? She's like, no, there's no way we're going to that this year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sad.
So this is your like first big convention, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You said that. Well, I was outside getting high off the paint fumes.
Yep. So this is the first real one I'm going to. Yeah. It should be
Did Jack figure out what he's taking for his part of the team?
No. Actually, if one night, it was actually going to be tonight, and then I remembered that we were doing our thing, but we're going to do a live stream together and basically hash out what he can bring.
Oh, you can jump in and we could hash this out as a team.
I'm not sure what he's doing right now. I thought he was on the line in the chat, but I haven't seen him in a while. But yeah, no, it was just a matter of so basically you can take any army you want as long as it's like the cutoff for what you can bring. I think it's like the 17th of the month before the event, which that means there's like 6 months between now and then.
Yeah.
And in that time, like again, he plays Khorne. Yeah, his favorite army is Slaanesh. But they don't have any. They don't have a book or anything like that. So there's Khorne, Slaanesh, Flesh Eater Courts, and Stormcast. And locally, he is big in the tournament scene with the Stormcast.
Or his Shootcast.
Yeah, and it is brutal. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. So basically, the idea being like, how hard do we plan this? Because what he wants to bring might change in that huge amount of time. We already know Khorne's getting a book.
Mm-hmm.
We hope Slaanesh is.
And Dark Elves hopefully are coming, with my fingers crossed.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of like, what do we? You know what I mean? Like, how hard do you plan?
We got that teaser for Forbidden Power, and I keep thinking that's Slaanesh.
Yeah. So it's I don't know. It's interesting. I guess kind of my thought process at this point is like, why don't I just pick a problem and solve that, and then his list can make up the gaps in that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so if we need bodies, Skaven can deliver bodies.
Something they're good at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of our thought process right now. I want to stick mostly to the
Not a bad idea.
the scryer stuff, but I have enough room. I actually just ordered a KR multi-case for myself.
How much did that cost you?
That was $59 for the backpack. I got the backpack version. It's like $60 for the backpack, and then everything else is just the individual foams, and all those prices vary. I think mine came out to be like $110, but
Dang.
I also got some. Well, I had to
so
get some of
much
the
cheaper
bigger
than what I
ones,
spent.
huh?
So much cheaper than what I spent.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's going for an elite small model count one, so
That's
Yeah.
true. I had to get those tubs he was just talking about for my army now. How to magnetize them.
Mm.
Speaking of magnets, you should go on to Doug's store because they're great.
That's
we
funny.
got working stuff, bitch.
I wasn't expecting to give one right away. It just,
Yeah.
so, my bad. Next time I'll be prepared.
But yeah, no. So that's kind of our thought process right now. We're gonna work on it a bit more. I can't, I think if Slanesh comes out anytime soon, I think that's what he wants to do.
How big is his Slanesh army?
So I think he's got. I can't remember if it's a 40 or 60 demonettes. But basically, he has a ton of everything except the bigger chariot, the biggest chariot thing. And
No.
the main thing he doesn't have that for is because the easiest way to get that is the start collecting box, which just means he has a way overabundance of demonettes he doesn't want.
Yeah.
So
I'd say just go the Seraphon route and just summon them in, but I feel like it's not as easy.
it's not as easy.
But I don't think you need that many depravity points, too. I think
For demonettes.
for demonettes, yeah.
No, you don't. Honestly, the biggest thing is because kind of they have the same problem as Beast of Chaos when it comes to movement. So here's the thing. To summon something on, usually you're always 9 inches away from the enemy.
Yeah.
But you get these units that can run and charge and get bonuses to their movement. And it's like, they don't want to be 9 inches. You don't want to summon them. You want to start them on the board because they can turn one charge. You know what I mean? So it's this weird conundrum where you're like, you're so more aggressive if you don't do the movement or the deployment special stuff. And you're like, it's kind of a weird thing. But
Seekers can move, dude.
I remember because my first ever face against any of the Chaos armies was against Slanesh versus my Daughters of Khaine when I'm still learning this game. I thought I was the fastest army there was. You gotta run and charge.
mm-hmm.
You go like, oh yeah, no, I can do that too, and I'm so much faster than you. And he was in my face. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I tried 3d6. What?
I was not expecting any of this. And then
I'm safe back here. No, you're not.
Yeah.
Not today.
Yeah. And then next time I faced him was in Triumphant Treachery. Luckily I wiped out his whole army, but the defining moment of that whole game, no matter what happened, was he had a Gaunt Summoner allied in, and he took out my full health Bloodrack Shrine with that one ability. And I'm still speechless about it. I was like wiping out his whole army, and they just went on like, yeah, no, here's your linchpin. It's gone.
Man, that's the third time you've brought up the Bloodrack Shrine dying into one shot, man. I think you just got a problem with that model.
Dude, it was beautiful. At that point, I realized I'm like, you know what, I'm done. Everybody's just tearing my army to pieces, and I'm like, I'm gonna go for the Hail Mary. I'm gonna do it, and it rolled off perfectly. And then we took a break, and I described it. I'm like, you guys don't understand. He came running up on his bird legs up that shrine, and he just slammed that dagger into that Medusa's heart. And before he hit the ground, when that thing disappeared, he did a chicken dance. He was just on the ground, chicken dance. That's it. Just chicken dance out.
Love it.
I don't remember who won that game.
I don't remember
because that's all I remember about it.
The game was long, and that's it.
That's sweet. Let's see here. So yeah, that's my. Go ahead.
What were we talking about?
I was just bringing the list back up. We were talking about my plans at Nova, and then we got sidetracked into what Jack could bring.
Yeah.
One of the things was Slanesh. Let's see here.
What do you bring in? I know, like, you're Skaven, but...
Yeah. So basically, what I'm going to do is try to come up with a 2,000 point Scryer army. So it'll be very, very elite because everything in that army is expensive and the battalion is ridiculous. So not a competitive choice whatsoever, but should be fun.
I mean, if Jack's carrying the other half of it,
You
it
know,
could be
he's
competitive.
going to be carrying more than half because I'm not a great player, but he is. But no, I just mean and then the rest of the case, because it can actually hold quite a bit, is like it's going to be jam packed with as many clan rats as I can, so I can kind of have a little bit of choice.
Yeah.
Actually, that all needs to dry. So that's kind of the idea. The list that I want to bring, and hopefully there's enough room for it, but I don't know, is I want to do the thing that we designed on the live stream where it's like a half Molder, half Scryer list.
I've been missing your live streams lately because they've been coming out. I feel like they come out later, or I've been more responsible and going
Do
to
you
bed
even
early.
like this show, dude? You're missing everything.
I
Come
know.
on, man. That's
I know.
No, basically what it is this narrative idea I have in the Battle Tome. You see a lot of stories about like the clans kind of selling weapons and doing deals with one another, and so my narrative stuff was have it so that this is Grayseer who's pitting the clans, a clan of Scryer stuff and a clan of Molder stuff against each other to try and sell him weapons. And so having a Grayseer lead things who's the big manipulator with Scryer and Molder units below him.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, that's fun.
I mean, I don't know how functional that is because I haven't looked at Skaven. I don't want to buy it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I want to buy it, but I don't want to buy it.
Totally, yeah. No, it as far as functionality, like it'll still have 60 clan rats because I need the battle line.
Yeah.
And then it'll just have Hell Pit Abomination, which is amazing. Doom Wheel, Storm Fiends, like just a bunch of good stuff. Storm Fiends aren't particularly good from what most people are saying, but I think they're cool.
I mean, before they had a book, they were pretty vicious, from what I remember.
Yeah, the book kind of tuned him down a little bit, kind of restricted some of the weapon loadouts.
Yeah, well, I mean,
That's a step.
that's not necessarily a bad thing, I guess.
No, I mean, it's
The Hell Pit's fun, though.
yeah, that's actually what I'm most excited for.
Is it still like a random dice roll for its movement?
Yeah, it is 2d6 to move, and then has a chance to come back to life after you kill it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Those things are...
It has so much damage potential.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting.
I fought one of those once, and it came back to life on me, and that was not fun.
Yeah. That was fun for that Skaven player, though.
Oh, yeah, no, I bet he had a great time.
Was it Blake?
It was Blake.
Yeah. I've never seen his Hell Pit Abomination not come back to life.
He always gets lucky on those rolls, and my demonettes at that point were just done. And I'm like, all right, well, you're just going to start mopping them up. Let's go.
I love it.
What other conventions are you planning on going to, though, Doug?
This year, at one point I wanted to go to Adepticon, but unfortunately, like, we got some family travel at the same time this year. It's just a couple weeks, so
Yeah.
that's kind of out of the question. Besides that, I'm not sure about 2019. Probably not a whole lot more, to be honest with you. But next year, I want to see how it goes with this one. You know, see if it's a good army to travel with, and I would love to go to Europe next year. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. That would be amazing.
So
We'll get photos of Doug out at the actual pub at the.
We should just go, Jesse. Let's just go. We'll meet him there.
We'll meet him.
what are we doing, man? Let's just do it.
Yeah. All this talk and not enough action. Let's
Guys,
do this.
the chat got cut short. They all just got plane tickets.
Yeah.
They just left.
Love it. But yeah, no, that's pretty much it for the the convention stuff, I think, for
Yeah.
the most part. Like next year, I want to do definitely Adepticon and Nova. I mean, I'm assuming I'm just gonna assume that things go well, since I've never
I
heard anyone say anything bad about Nova.
Always a good outlook to have.
Yeah,
yeah. I'd really like to go to Nova
Same here.
next year. Next year.
yeah. I think
What month is that again?
and the next time I go, I'll definitely do the narrative event for sure.
You don't want to do teams with me?
I'm already sacrificing. You know, I gotta do the narrative stuff at some point.
What if we run you a narrative tournament? Would that count, or does it have to be at Nova?
The Cleveland Open, just make it sound really fancy.
Yeah, the Cleveland
The Cleveland Open.
Nova 0.5
Oh,
narrative tournament. I'm just gonna keep adding titles so it sounds really good.
Oh, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. You maybe add charity event in there somewhere.
clam bake.
What's the charity for? I don't know. Whatever you want it to be.
Sick kids. What?
It's at an old fraternity of Eagles. Oh,
Yeah. Or go the what is it? If you guys watch Arrested Development, when they have the charity auctions for the terrible disease known as was it TBA, just to be announced because they didn't know what they were raising the money for.
Yeah.
With your help, we can end TBA.
TBA. I love it. That's what we're doing, Jesse. That's what we're doing.
we're fighting off TBA. Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha. All right.
It affects millions.
Trying to think. Let's see here. Get your list. I want to make sure I cover all your topics you had for me here.
That was the big stuff right there. I think at this point it's just what do you want to talk about? What's on your mind?
Yeah.
We've been asking you questions.
No. Yeah, you had two more things that are interesting. Thoughts on Warcry?
Oh
Yes.
yeah. I'm hopeful.
Yes, I'm trying to stay grounded, but I am very hopeful. I've played Kill Team and all that. I am hoping that it is very similar. Oh man, a couple White Dwarfs ago, they came out with an add-on to Skirmish.
Yeah.
It was like renown points. They kind of like even it out. I'm wondering if they're going to go that route, where like you make a war band, you get like so many renown points, and each model's worth so much or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for something. I would just love to be able to do like an old school Mordheim style, where you just make a campaign and build up a war band of your own guys and go through there.
Look at that red.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's up?
This turbo dork paint. I'm not sure if you heard of it.
Yeah, local store has that as well.
Oh, it is so good. Like the color shift I got, and I fell in love with it. And now I'm trying out this red, and I haven't even put it on anything. I'm like, that is beautiful.
Just on the further.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm hoping it. I'm hoping, and I'm probably gonna be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's just gonna be AOS Kill Team, and I'm okay with that. I haven't even played normal Kill Team because I haven't had the motivation to try it.
It's fun. I played a couple matches of it. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's great if you want to, because you can play it on a coffee table because it's on a smaller scale. It's just heavy on terrain, which I think is fun in itself. What are your thoughts, Doug? What do you
on Kill Team?
on like Warcry and the Kill Team?
I don't want to get my hopes up because we know that the people who make Kill Team, like the design team, but they also designed Underworlds, so it's not necessarily going to be the same thing.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna keep my brain open.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's the same team who made Shadespire and also Kill Team. But I mean, even if they just merge those things together and just eliminate the collectible card game element, like that would still be really, really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. The rumors that we've heard as far as like It's basically Kill Team, but with commanders designed into it from the ground up. Which, have you ever heard of the game Frostgrave?
No.
Yes, I actually played my first match of that 2 days ago.
Yeah, or basically you have a central character, your hero, and then the warband is built around them. So you have this central figure, and then everything else afterwards paid for with renown points, whatever your
System.
yeah, your unit of measure. And so that's kind of what it sounds like it's going to be, which would be cool because then you could do something like a mega boss with his hand chosen boys and that kind of stuff. And that's wild speculation and rumor, which I tend to not put my stock into until I see it. I'm excited about what I want is a designated like skirmish level thing that it isn't a collectible card game. It doesn't require me to keep up with purchases. I can just design a warband, make a story for them, and then do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Or have to buy more boards would be a thing too. I would like not to have to, buy the box set for like Shadespire did, and then Nightfall where you have the different boards and all that.
Yep.
Just one board or one mat, one-time purchase, and go from there.
Totally. Beyond that, if I could have like my full wildest dreams, it would be basically Kill Team, and they would go as far as they did with Kill Team with taking old fantasy terrain pieces, making new boxes, and kind of making it very accessible in the sense of like, if you just buy a couple sets, you have enough terrain to play a small, mediocre game.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I don't know. It's a little bit different from 40K in the sense of like 40K has a lot of weapon variety, and so when you're making your lists, you have a lot of choices to make. Whereas I find most fantasy stuff, it's like spear or sword. Both suck, but they suck for different reasons, right? So the choices there are a little bit different. So I'm not quite sure how they'll handle that. Maybe it'll just be, I don't know, smaller unit loadouts. I'm not quite sure, but yeah. I don't know.
Thinking about that, I'm wondering like how would they do that? Because also in Kill Team you can take specialists and everything else.
Well, the specialist stuff could work because you can do even just a liberator with more, a better to wound is still a better liberator.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A liberator with a heavy characteristic. He give him a grand hammer. Now he just hits better, wounds better, or has better damage.
Right. So I don't know. I'm excited about it. Like, what honestly, more than anything, I just want a smaller version of AOS that I can knock out in 45 minutes. Like, that's the best part of Kill Team is you can play a full game in 45 minutes and then rack it back up and try again. So
yeah, I'm totally down for that. That'd be fun. I think it also would spice up like the community too and all that.
Oh yeah.
Just put that dirty water in your mouth.
Yeah, I always get more paint. You just don't notice? I've been doing it all night, my friend. All night.
I just want you to do it for the first time.
Not dead yet.
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go check the
Shamans.
Give me just a second here.
I was gonna say I definitely have my hopes up. That's all.
They're up there.
I hope. I know. I'm also very hopeful that this Dark Elf purchase I just made is not in vain. So
What'd you get?
I got.
say something about it. Now it's in vain.
Yeah. I got a whole bunch of Dread Spears, a whole bunch of Dark Shards, a whole bunch of Bleak Swords, a Black Dragon that I haven't put together yet. I don't like the Sorceress on it. I prefer the Dreadlord on it. But the Sorceress is neat for the Darkling Coven.
Yeah, dude. So you went with the what are they? What's their name now? The subcategory over there.
Darkling Coven.
That's what it is. Yeah, I almost said Scourge Privateers. That's not right.
Yeah, I got some Scourge Privateers too, but not nearly as much. So I just have them allied in. And I got some Drakespawn Knights as well. So, since I got that purchase, I'm hoping the Dark Elves come out pretty soon.
Yeah, I would tell you what though, that is my favorite of the Dark Elf, I guess like splits or subfactions they made.
Yeah,
That is by far one of my favorite ones.
yeah, I really like it. It
I like the mechanics they have now, just for
yeah,
determining extra shots and everything else. That's all
That's
the
and
units.
that's the thing.
yeah.
I love when the designers play with new kinds of mechanics, and that was like there's no other army that plays with how many models are in a unit in the same way. I guess
Hmm.
the closest thing is Skaven counting Battle Shock in terms of like how many dudes are in the unit counts as double for your bonus. But
Yeah,
no, it's cool. It's unique. I like that. Unique is good.
yeah. I've tried just allying them into my daughter's Khaine. It does not work very well. They get none of the bonuses,
Yeah,
and they just die.
Just die.
So they
yeah.
well, okay.
They're just dudes with shields. Yeah, yeah. They're not.
Yeah. I've
Uh,
learned nothing really allies. It synergizes really well with my daughters of Khaine, like more daughters of Khaine.
well, yeah. I mean, nothing's tougher than your BS bonus stacking with all the temples and junk, and nothing's faster
Whoa,
because they run and charge. You can ally
whoa!
in some guns, get some ballistas.
I do like my Cauldron Guard. That nice 13-inch run. It's pretty nice, and then you get the go with the temple that lets you teleport one unit.
Yep.
That's pretty fun too.
Oh man,
And -1 to hit with shooting. Most people like that whole reroll and all your failed hit rolls, but teleporting, I must say, is really fun because it opens up a lot more doors for you.
hand of course, man. You pick up a big unit, you throw those grots.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Actually,
go on.
speaking of which, tell me about the Gloomspite Gitz you've been making, man.
My army, as of right now, is focusing on everything that I have for my Path of Glory. The current is I have a Loon Boss, I have a Madcap Shaman, I have three. What are these? The Stone Troggoths. What are they called? Always bad with names. Not the Dank Hold, not the River. Rock Gut. I got three Rock Gut Troggoths. I got 20 Shootas, 40 Stabas with spears. I'm also adding in some Galapalooza, and I'm adding in because in the Path of Glory you're only allowed to add three of the five, and the ones I'm adding in is where are you? It's the Spiker, Boggle Eye, and the Shroom Mancer.
Okay,
So
so that's the poison dude, right? Is the spiker?
yes, yeah, that's the one that you re-roll wound rolls of one for the unit into your next hero phase. The Boggle Eye is the one that has the Mesmerize, so you can make it so that they're from the unit wholly within 12 inches. If it goes off, they don't have to take battle shock. Or you make the enemy go last in the fight phase.
Hmm.
And then the Shroomancer is the one that if his fungoid cloud spell goes off, you pick an enemy unit within 8 inches of the caster that's visible to it, and until your next hero phase, they must subtract one from their hit rolls made by it, and subtract one from save rolls for attacks that target that unit.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So I watched all of the Gloomspite videos you put out. I fully agree with you on them. It's so much easier for them to hit you in the back of the knee with a club to make you fall down instead of them putting on stilts and trying to walk at you.
Yeah, no joke. I think that's cool that it's represented that well. That's awesome.
Um, I fought against a loon boss on Mangler Squig a couple weeks ago. I got to say, I do like the fact that how its stat line goes when it starts breaking down. That when it gets to like taking middle amount of wounds, it gets at its lowest, but then when you get it down to like 1 or 2 wounds left, it's back up to full stats again.
Yeah.
I just love that roller coaster of it. I'm always a big fan of randomized stuff for greenskins. So the fact that like a lot of their like the squig hoppas and the boing bounders and like the mangle squids are all I can roll really well, guys, and I can be moving I can move 18 inches. Or the one chick I played against, she for her loon boss rolled 3 2s for her mangler, and I'm like, looks like you're only roll. And she had the griffin charm, so she only got to move 7 inches. And it's like, well, looks like you're just gonna slowly move across that board toward me. So, um, the next thing I'm probably gonna be adding in is some squigs, just because I love me some squigs and how funny they are.
Yeah,
They make for a nice little meat shield too.
Yeah, they do. Well, the 2 wounds and being able to move up in there and just take some hate is great.
Let me ask you this: have you been winning with your Gloomspite?
Once actually,
This is not to put you on the spot. I have a follow-up question, and so this is why. But yeah, go ahead.
the last match I did, last match I lost against the Beast Claw Raiders, but the one before that, yes. So I've lost 3. I've won 1, but I've noticed that the only way I'm starting to win, I have a better chance of winning, is the further we get deeper into the Path of Glory, because I can start adding in those guys that give me the rerolls, that make it so that you have to take, you have to add a +1 to your saving throws or everything else like that.
Okay.
This army is really, you have to have your guys there to help buff your own units and debuff the enemy as much as you can.
Mm-hmm. No, I get that. I guess the reason I was asking that, just kind of, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I'm sorry. As soon as I asked the question, I was like, oh, that's a douche thing to do. It was, I look at the army, and I'm one of those people, like, I struggle to see the sum of an army's parts by reading the rules. Like, there are some people who can look at a set of models, and be like, oh, here's the synergies, and here's how I make X, Y, Z happen, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I look at the Gloomspite Gitz, like, because of the random nature of it, which I think is fun, I struggle, like, some of them, it's like, I don't understand the win condition. Like, you don't blow people away with huge firepower. You can move fast. Emphasis on can, because sometimes you don't.
You have the potential.
Exactly, yeah. So I just kind of, I didn't understand when the army came out, like, what they're good at. You know what I mean? I don't know how to word that. Like, they're a cool army and they're a good army. I just don't understand what they're good at specifically.
The way I'm building my army is I'm going Moon Clan heavy.
Okay.
So I'm not going to have a lot of the Spider Riders and things like that. Like, I will have squigs in there, like the Boing Bounders, little night-looking ones are my favorite squig riders.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have some of those guys in there. Squig herds, like Greg said, are great for being a meat shield to just get in there and tie up a unit, hopefully for a turn or something. So for me, building up my army, I know that I'm going to need some sneaky snufflers at one point, just because then I can throw. If I take a unit of 60 Stabba Grots, throw them on there, they're automatically now throwing out 2 attacks each. Try to get as many deep as I can. Get a spiker near them to be able to re-roll 1s on their wounds. And I have a loon boss close enough. And I like taking the dead shouty command trait, where I can automatically, once in one combat phase per round, I can for free use the whole, if I roll a 6 to wound you, it's also a wound in addition. I work well with a lot of armies that have that like synergy buff. You know, I had to put layers of stuff on to help out. So that's how this army works good for me in that way.
Okay.
But I do see that it's one of those, like, just by looking at it, like you said, off the bat, because it took me at least 3 to 4 times of reading through my book before I'm like, okay, no. Sneak.
Okay.
Then some of these guys, then this guy, and then I just have to make sure I have the groundwork. And you put up in that video one of your videos a while back, the whole remember me thing. So that's one of the things I had to do too, is that I have to remember that. I have to remember that if I take a madcap shaman who has the photide fetish, I think is how you pronounce it. I have to make sure that at the start of I believe it's the start of let's see. Oh no, it's the moon phase Moppet. At the start of the combat phase, pick one enemy unit within 12 inches of the bearer, subtract one from the save rolls for attacks that target that unit to the end of the phase. So I have to remember myself to be like, okay, hold on a second, that guy takes this negative now. So I would say starting out as like a new player, it is, if you're playing, if you just picked them all up and you made like a 1,500 point list or a 2K list, it's a lot to take in off the bat, just because you have to make sure you're putting all your synergy buffs out correctly and all your debuffs out right. So I'm happy that I am doing this on a slow grow path to glory, because I can really absorb what each unit does.
That's solid.
I know the Stabas, I have not come across anything yet for the Stabas that makes their to hits better. So it's always only a 5 if I take my spears. But with the backstabbing mob, you can get down to a 3+ for wounding. If you have over 30 guys, I believe. So if you have, once you hit, you have a better chance of hitting. So then, you throw some sneaky snufflers on there and you just really hope that you roll really well and go from there.
Yeah, and the snufflers they buff you hitting or wounding?
The snufflers give you 1 extra attack.
Oh, okay, never mind.
They, yeah.
So, hitting in a way.
Yeah. Interesting stuff.
I forget I can take a giant. I should pick up a giant at some point. Just throw it in there.
The big ass garment.
Yeah, you add 1 to the attack characteristics of melee weapons used by that unit to your next movement phase. But here's the thing:
game you can't run or can't charge 12 inches.
So the one thing that's really cool about the sneaky snufflers, though, is that if you want to, you can have 2 units of them out, and then you can have both of them target a unit of 60 Stabagrots.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you do it the second time, they take D6 mortal wounds. So even if you take 12, you're still at full bonuses for your backstabbing mob.
Right.
And at that point, then you're 3 attacks per crot, which is disgusting.
Yeah, that's gross.
I don't know, man. I get 4 attacks.
Yeah, but the sheer amount of bodies and the weight of it is just it's a different problem than daughters present.
You see, you're all about being efficient killers. My goal as a loon boss is to choke you to death with rotten blood.
Exactly.
That's what I'm doing.
He's got to reach your preset kill limit, and you'll be all set.
Every killbot has a preset kill limit. I just send waves and waves of men.
At some point, dude, your people are going to get tired, and they're not going to be able to carry their weapons no more. They're just going to look around and see there's too many goblins coming in. And the netters, just the netters off the bat are great when they automatically make you take a -1 to your hit rolls.
Yep.
Yeah, that ain't good.
Yeah, no, it's a super cool army, because it's the kind of army that's like, I'm not good at this stuff fighting, but I can make it so that you're not either.
Yeah.
And there's nothing more frustrating than that.
I'm going down. You're going down with me.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Pretty much. Let's see here. I'm gonna see if I can line up this stinking puzzle piece of a thing here. See if we can get this to work.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I see in the chat. I forgot that the spore splatas. I forget what Fanatics they do. I like them. I know that if you put them in front of another unit, they can block that unit from being shot at. But I feel like, for me, I would end up putting those guys behind a unit, or at least like as close as I can, because then they. Let's see here. What is it? Do start your hero phase. Friendly Moonclan Grot units wholly within 12 inches of any friendly units with his ability become frenzied. They add +1 to the attack characteristics of their melee. So if you take a unit of the Sports Blad of Fanatics, have them wholly within 12 inches of a unit of your Stabagrots, and then have that Stabagrot unit also get Sneaky Snufflered, they're off the bat getting 3 attacks. And then if you want to, have another unit of Sneaky Snufflers hit them, take some mortal wounds, and now be getting 4 attacks per grot.
That's gross.
Yeah, that's all complicated stuff.
Yeah. As opposed to just running forward and killing things like you do with Daughter's Game.
Yeah. Nice and simple. That's something we were talking about when I was playing Sylvaneth today. I was like, I don't like your army. It's too complicated. You got all that stuff going on.
I gotta think too much. I gotta remember too many things.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
When really the answer to every question should be run, charge, kill. Solves all your problems.
Okay, there we go. I got 1 assembled.
Woo! 1 down, 2 to
Yeah.
go.
Let's see here.
We'll get it.
Anyway, so it makes the Skaven symbol when it's all said and done. Let me see.
Oh, that is nasty. What Dylan put up. I have been running 2 15-man bounty units, Rider Boss and Sneaky Snufflers both, and charging. Oh man.
That's how you don't make friends, Dylan.
That is a great wing. I love it. You keep that up. We may be small goblins, but we're still gonna hurt.
Yeah, dude. Oh, man. Let's see here. Bring 2 50-man powder units.
Oh man, I'm just loving what I'm seeing in the chat on this. This is good ideas. I'm gonna make you cry one of these days.
Just don't do the scenario where you throw the guy I need to kill in front of me.
Oh, Dylan, he paints his bounties to look like Bretonians. That is adorable. I love it. I love that so much.
Dylan, I need to see pictures of these.
Oh, that is so. Oh, I can just imagine the Grots trying to be all knightly.
Dylan, if you have an Instagram, share it in the chat so we can all take a look at it later.
Yeah.
That's
super fun. Let's see.
24 squigs with a snuffer. Oh, dude, I didn't even think of that. Can you actually?
Squigs are a fun unit because I love anything that incentivizes that bravery. Like when they run away, they do mortal wounds when they flee. I think that's the most fun mechanic ever.
I was thinking just spending my command point and making them stay because 2 wounds a pop, and they're 80 points for 6. Just get a giant block of them and just have them sit there all day. You gotta just chew through them.
Yeah.
No, but I'm mean like that.
Sam Cook in the chat asks, since you were using the minions tokens set for Beastmen, are you going to use the Kador tokens because of how much the symbol looks like Skaven? That's actually a really good idea. I'm trying to think of how many things I need tokens for in Skaven, because the Beastmen one was great because the primordial call points were kind of a different resource than command points. But I guess I could do Warp Spark tokens. That's true. Let me think about that. I'll actually be in the store doing a demo of the new War Machine rules, so I might actually pick up a set of tokens. That'd be kind of cool.
I must say, I don't actually must say. I don't know why I keep saying that.
What?
I don't get War Machine. I played a few games.
I've done it 3 separate times, and each time the community kind of disintegrates on itself, sadly.
Yeah.
I was just saying, like, the game-wise, like, the rules. I don't know. I didn't think it was very fun.
I enjoyed it. Like I said, I've done it 3 times, so you can tell you that I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's just that, sadly, the communities that I was in, it just kind of, like, either fell apart, people had different schedules, or there were a couple things once that I think some people got into arguments about it being like too competitive, and they got too nitpicky on stuff. So it was one of those like, guys, I'm here to have fun. I don't want to deal with it. So,
Yep. I totally get that. It was actually my first miniatures game. I had a blast. It was a good group in Iowa. But it was also all the things I like about AOS were like, we play lists that were fully painted and a lot more exploration of the hobby, whereas most of the time it's bare plastic and that kind of stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. But, if you want it to change, you just gotta do it and change it.
I still have my my Cawdor Juggernaut model, Warjack. I still have that because I painted it up so nicely, and I battle damaged it up and made it look like it was taking pot shots and been ripped off and
That's
hastily
super cool.
prepared. So I still have that sitting on my desk.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
We can transition back to AOS here. Also something I can show off here now that I finally am done. So I have the null holes I'll put off to the side, but I kit bashed, I'm not sure how well this will show up, a whole bunch of acolytes. Because right now, you can only buy them 3 for like $15.
I wanted to kit bash these guys.
Did I just remind you wanted to kit bash something?
Yeah, he's already halfway done painting them.
I think
Looks like the next batch you're going to have to do now.
Yeah.
it might be too late.
Yeah. I'm not taking them apart. I'm here. I'm committed.
So these little dudes are a combination. We can wait for it to show up on the screen there, of a Clan Pestilence monk with a bunch of parts from orc units from 40k. So there's the dual oxygen tank that came from one of the new vehicles they have. Got a little gas mask head from one of the Warp Lightning Cannon crew. So yeah, they all have those little backpacks from various 40k bits, and I just cut the weapons off. We have some AdMech stuff. Has like a little generator on his back. But I don't know. Yeah, they came out pretty well. So
what do the accolades do in game wise?
So they die, but before they die, so basically they're Skaven with they can run and shoot. 6-up save, so they're gonna die. But they can run and shoot 8-inch range on there. Basically, hucking these poison globes, like little grenades. Okay. And so it's 4 to hit, 4 to wound, -2 rend, D3 damage. And so the way that pans out being is if you soup them up with the scryer bonuses to get them to re-roll hits and wounds and all that stuff like that, you have a pretty reliable shot that does -2 rend, D3 damage. And you can boost that to get it D3 +1 with a Warpstone Spark, something like that. So it can be nasty. Like, they can do some real work. I mean, they took out Marathi in my game versus Daughters of Khaine.
That's possible.
Yeah, well, basically,
when they're throwing that kind of hate at you.
I threw a bunch of clan rats at her, and every turn they would just chuck a grenade, and it would take out the 3 wounds that she can be allowed. And and he and my opponent Ben wound up winning that game, but like it took out most of his army. There was just a few snake ladies who finished the deal, so it was pretty super close. But yeah, they can be good. So from all the kit bashing, I have 20 of them, and
nice.
I like them.
Yeah, I got those.
What's the do they run in like squads of 5 or 10?
You can buy them in increments of 5.
Okay.
I believe. They go up to 30. What's interesting is they're one of the few shooting units that does get a massive sized unit bonus, like if you take the full size at discount. So they're cool. They're also a battle line if you do all scryer. So there's your bodies. So you have them and Storm Fiends.
Do they get any other bonuses for being for having massive bodies?
Yeah.
Body wise?
Yeah, the scryer stuff gets it's for every 10 models you get +1 to your bravery for a battle shock or like that. They get +2. So bravery is a little bit better, augmented by that. But
which they need.
Yeah. I mean, the bravery 4. Like if one runs away, you lose 3 more. Yeah. And in the background, I'm also building. I guess I can try and show it here, but I took all of the little, like, I guess the Clan Pestilence unit comes with a bunch of rat bits, and so I just put them all on 25 mil bases to make giant rats to have a huge horde unit. So that eventually, when I get to my molder list, I will have some kind of battle line. So yeah, I got 20. There's a bunch more in the corner, but yeah, just a
What
bunch
did
of
you
little...
do with
What's up?
what did you do with the giant rat with like the butcher knife?
With the butcher knife.
Did you put it on 25 millimeter base too?
There's the Claw Lord, the one that came in Island of Blood. Is that what you're talking about?
No, it's like it comes in the start collecting box for Pestilence, and there's just like a little giant rat on 2 feet with like a butcher knife and robes, but it's not big enough to be like a clan rat or.
Oh, like the little mini me.
Yeah.
I have no use for him whatsoever. I don't know what I'm going to do with him.
Do you know what he's supposed to be?
I don't know. Like, there's none of the, like, usually those kind of units have something stupid, like, you know, he has a familiar who also attacks, you know, something like that. He's just there. No one acknowledges it. It's just whatever.
Like what Nurgle does for
The
Nurglings on some of them. Like I know Death Guard from 40k has a bunch of them where they're just looking like sassy Nurglings on bases.
Yep.
Did you ever pick up the wolf rats?
From Forge World?
Yeah.
No, I have not yet. So basically what I'm working with is the few kit bashes I have. It's just the 20 Scryer Acolytes, the Carrion Empire's half, and the Island of Blood set. So it's pretty limited in scope, but growing little bit by bit.
Slow and steady. That wins the races, I hear.
Yep.
Especially when you're doing a horde army, all right?
Yeah.
Tell me about it. Mine are $60 a pop for battle line.
Yeah.
How many guys you getting that though?
10.
Oh, dude. Oof.
I know.
That's
I have to go
honestly
get
the
10 more.
biggest reason I don't own Daughters of Khaine right now. I remember like 3 years ago, I was at a game store hanging out with Shu from Rerolling Ones, and he asked me like, if you could have any army, what would it be? And I did say Daughters of Khaine, like before they ever had a book and like that. And my hope was when they got announced that night, I was like super pumped. My poor friends understood how my hobby ADD is. And then when they didn't change the price on them, I was like, oh no, that's my one hindrance. I can't do that. So
Well, I mean, I don't know what type of daughters you want to build, but I have a whole bunch of snake people because I kept buying the battle forces.
oh my gosh. Why don't you like the snake people? I love the snake girls.
I don't. I don't. I just don't. I don't know why. They just don't appeal to me.
That's I mean, that's a reason. That's fine. It is legit.
Like, I know they're good. Like, they're really good, especially with like the Temple Nest Battalion and everything. Like, they could be mean, but I can't bring myself to putting them together or playing them at all.
Yeah.
I did 5 archers. I was like, yeah, not feeling this.
Lore-wise, how do they fit in with the daughters?
They're more or less like they're corrupted souls that were taken out of Slaanesh that Marathi is like made in her image, so she's like not lonely and whatnot.
Gotcha.
And and everybody sees it as like a high blessing type of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And then anybody that starts questioning it, those snake ladies do that old crystal touch and kill them.
They're not around long enough to question it a whole lot. So
yeah.
And Cool Shoulder does have a point. The snake ladies do convert nicely into Slaanesh fiends.
Yeah.
you
If I was playing something, hey, does Jack want some snake bodies?
I think he likes the actual fiend kit too much to proxy and kit bash.
That new fiend kit.
Yeah, the new one's really good. Yeah. Can't really deny that.
The harp is beautiful as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
That harp alone is why I want to make a Slanesh army.
Yeah, man.
Just to justify that purchase of that box.
I'm fully on the I can't wait for a Slanesh book to come out. And, it's just going to be a parade of depravity. It's going to be wonderful.
You have to start your army all over again.
But that's the thing. I would
Worth
do
it.
it. Heartbeat. Right there.
To be fair, though, you didn't paint it either, so.
I got to a certain point and I was like, no, I'm good.
You just have them boxed up in a shop or something like that?
No, I had them all. I'd say 75% of them assembled for what I used for the Path of Glory that we were in, and I had them all primed, and I was getting ready to start painting them. And then I don't know what happened. Oh, I think I got pulled back in the 40K for a little bit there. So
I didn't see it for a while.
Yeah, I got pulled back in the 40K in the competitive stuff. And then I sold them to a buddy of mine who helped me buy a bunch of I sold them and I got my Gloomspite. And I'm happy with my little goblins.
Oh, cool. Cool. The best kind of trade is the one you don't regret, so that's cool, man.
Well, he loves them because he's like, well, I have an army now that I can play in AOS and 40K. I'm like, yeah, hold it, buddy.
Anytime I've been tempted to play 40K, I'm like, I just got to play demons because I'm not going to stick with 40K. So I don't want to be out in an army.
I got Imperial Guard thinking that would get me to like the game and play more because I tried Thousand Suns. I'm like, yeah, not for me. I'm having fun painting the Imperial Guard, but I'm like, I still don't want to learn these rules and read all of this.
There's a lot more to it, yeah. And they have their FAQs and everything else, but I'm kind of surprised that they didn't come out with a Daughters of Khaine start collecting box.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. That still hurts.
Deepkin came out how long after Daughters?
I'm not sure how I got into this game. Was I went into the store, I saw the Marathi box. I'm like, I want that model for D&D. And I'm like, you know what? I've already spent this amount of money. Might as well just go all in now.
That's how Kara got into Sylvaneth. My girlfriend's into it, and we got her slowly building that up because she saw the Alariel model, because she loves beetles, and she's like, it's so beautiful. I'm like, yeah, and it does a lot of damage on the field.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. She's like, well, looks like I'm doing a tree people army.
Oh, and the healing she can do.
Oh man, the summoning, everything.
I got her almost dead, and she went back to full health. I'm like, yeah, I'm done with. I don't like her. My goal for every game, if she's ever on the field, I don't care what the objective is just to kill her.
There you go.
Oh man,
I will lose by 1,000,000 points. As long as she's dead, I won.
I don't know if I've ever actually played against Solari, to be honest with you.
Well, did you ever go near terrain and she charge and she kill like a giant squad? Because you played against her then. Or her beetle will do when it hits with its pincers, it's 5 damage a pop, and can like wipe out your like. When I'm playing like my horde, yeah, just wipes it out. Even with a 5 upfill, no pain. I ain't living through that.
Ooh, dude, yeah, straight. The beetle,
Yeah,
5 attacks, plus 4s to hit, 3 wound, 2 rend, 5 damage. Oh, until you bracket it.
Yep.
Until 5 wounds. Woo!
Yeah.
Ooh, dude, that spear is a 30-inch range starting out.
That spear is not as scary as it sounds, because I've only been hit by it like twice. And I play against Kenny, who really likes playing his Sylvaneth and Breen Alariel because he painted it up real nice.
Yeah.
And if I painted up something that looked that good, I would bring it to everything too.
D3 mortal wounds for terrain feature after the charge. That's nasty, dude.
Per terrain feature within range.
Oh, dude.
So if there's stacked terrain, yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. Woo.
Yeah. When you go against Solariel, you learn her rules pretty quick.
That's funny. In a word, spicy.
Yes. Ugh. She's just mean. There's so many mean things in this game, though.
Yeah,
So many.
no joke. Let's see here. That was all the stuff that we had planned.
Did anybody ask any questions? Because I haven't actually been paying attention. We normally stop.
No, it looks like they're just chit-chatting amongst themselves right now.
That's good.
Yeah, no, it is good. I always like when the chats amongst itself. It's like, oh, facilitating conversation. Yay.
Yay! I don't know. I don't know people that every time I do catch your live stream, I always get engrossed in what you're talking about, and I always miss what everybody else is saying.
I'm bad at keeping up. But
Yeah.
what time is it there for you guys?
It is 2:06 in the morning.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Well, my friends.
I made a giant cup of coffee beforehand, make sure I was ready for it.
I've been almost up for 24 hours. I got called into work early.
Oh my
geez.
goodness.
Yeah.
No.
I think I'm rolling like 3 monsters today.
I used to do a lot of road trips when I was in college, and I realized I reached that age after I had my second monster and my heart started racing. I was like, I can't do this. What am I doing? And that's when I stopped. It's like, I was really cool.
I'll occasionally have one every now and then.
To answer Brian, I have not had any big games yet. I have altogether, grot-wise, I think 1,700 points. I plan on picking up a couple more things.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping at some point soon to get a 1,500 point game in. I really want to try them out at that level, and I want to see how well they do. And then I want to get my 2K game in, because I feel like once I get to a 2K, I can really start throwing all the debuffs and all the supporting and everything else, and I would love to see how well they do.
Well, if you want to do that, I got 1,000 points in that paint right now.
It's 1,000 points.
On top of yours.
Wow, everything else is in my house.
I did not mean right now. That would be ridiculous, my friend.
You said you got that right now, man. We got time. Let's do this.
Yeah. Doug, you want to go watch us play a game at 2 in the morning? See how many rules we mess up?
We're gonna move everything in there.
Sweet. Okay, I'm just doing the least fun part of.
I'm going to a Blood Bowl, then 3 hours away at 6 a.m. Nice.
Yeah, dude.
Oh man.
Yeah, there's. We get some people commenting on these chats, and they'll be like, "Yeah, thank you all so much for watching. It really helped me focus as I, come home from work." And you're like, "Oh, where are you at?" And you're like, thinking they're like in Switzerland, coming home from work at like 6 p.m.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's like 3 in the morning. I'm like, oh my goodness, go to bed, dude.
Stop watching me. Go get some sleep.
Like Sam Cooks here. If you have less than 6 cans of Monster, how do you stay awake? I'll be honest. I used to be an over-the-road truck driver, and I used to drink like 6+ cans of Red Bull a day, and I stopped that real quick.
Yep.
Because when you get to the point you feel like you can run faster than your semi, there's an issue.
As people that watched my first one know, I was in the Army, and I used to drink a lot of energy drinks back then, but I found out that I am on the border to getting hypertension, so I've had to cut back on a lot of my.
The first time you dig in a 60 block of grots with 4 attacks apiece, 7 attacks on the nuts, mortal wounds on all 6 as well.
He's reading one of the comments.
Yeah, with 10 fanatics. Dude, that just sounds like a grot dream of hate coming at you. Charge the 60-man block. 10 fanatics. Have fun with that.
Fanatics to me are the one thing about that army that really, like, first of all, they're so iconic, and then it's like it's just a fun mechanic to hide somebody in a unit. But then the Skaven tried to do it with Eshin, and it's like it's not the same. It's not the same level of fun.
It's just one rat popping out and trying to shake you, and instead of like hey, what are those goblins doing? What are they? Oh my god, what are they releasing? Back up right now. I've
And they hurt so much.
Dude, when I fought against Josh and his Beast Claw Raiders, he forgot that I had some of them hiding, and they popped out. 5 of them popped out and ripped one of his. I think it was a Husker. I think that's the one that tosses the dirty snowball.
Oh.
Ripped it to pieces in a turn because I rolled. I think it was 17. I think it was one of 17 attacks, and I landed a bunch of them, and I just ripped it to pieces. And yeah, if they hit right and you roll good, you can rip a large model to pieces. And it's great because they have that 10 bravery. And then it's like, oh, I'm going to kill 2 of them. They're going to run. No, 3 are going to stay for a while.
They're staying forever.
You just got to make sure you wipe them out.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing better than a surprise grot, all right?
How do they... so I saw that Dylan put it in the chat. So, how do they pop out now?
All right, so the way they work is you secretly choose what unit they have them in. It says to write them down or something. Yeah. Whenever I play, my girlfriend's only with me, so I'll be like, "Hey, I'm gonna just text you this in case someone asks," because then you can just show them the text exactly where I said it would be at. So it says at the start of your charge phase, you can release this unit. If you do so, set this unit up. Set this unit wholly within 3 inches of the unit it was. More than 3 inches away from enemy units. If this unit was released in your charge phase, it can attempt to make a charge phase in that phase unless the unit it was with has restrictions that would stop it from charging, like it ran beforehand. If the unit was released in the enemy charge phase, it cannot attempt to charge. But and also, this unit's destroyed if the parent unit was that was carrying it is destroyed. So I've been charged before and had them in there, and I'll have them charging straight, and I'll go, hold on a second, throw them out. And then it's like, okay, well, if you keep coming straight at me now, you have to go into the Fanatics first. So,
Dylan's correct in the chat. It used to be that they would pop out, and they had the ability to charge in your opponent's charge phase.
Ooh, that would be disgusting.
Which, yeah, and I'm sure that's why they tuned it down. So it used to be they would pop out, they'd charge, and then they would basically pin your opponent down wherever they were before they got a chance to charge. Ooh. So now there's this huge, whatever distance away they were, say 6 inches, gap between the front line. You just pushed them backwards a little bit.
Yeah.
So they're not touching any grots. They're only getting Fanatics, so...
And the fact that they also get to go first.
Yep.
Period. Which then brings up the question then. So, if you have turn 3 Deepkin charging in, let's say a bunch of eels charged in, one of my big blocks of
Stabas. Do you fight before combat, or do
the Fanatics say that they fight? Let me actually look at the
exact wording. If they fight before combat, they go first. If it says they fight first, it would be whoever turn it was.
Yep.
This unit fights at the start of the combat phase before the players pick any other units to fight in that phase.
They would go before the Deepkin.
So they would go
forward in front of me. But so basically, if there's any things that happen at the same time like that, the player whose turn it is chooses the order. But it does depend on how it's the Deepkin thing is written.
Maybe Brian put that in there. They fight before combat.
Yeah.
Awesome. So there's your. So here's how you counter your Deepkin. You pick up some Moon Clan Grots.
Ally them into my daughters as Khaine.
And you somehow ally them in.
Open play. Got
it. And they open play, and then you just release your
open play.
It's open play stuff. You just got to do open play.
Where rules don't matter.
The only problem with that plan is that the Deepkin player then also is playing open play and can take whatever the hell he wants. And that only gets worse.
They also have Fanatics.
Yeah.
How was that first turn? It was just Fanatic on Fanatic, man.
Got a little Fanatic riding on the back of that eel. That'd be amazing.
Oh,
that would be a fun little thing to add.
That needs to be a conversion. Get some of those Boingrat Brounders riding on the eels instead of...
Oh, that's genius. They have a start collecting box now, so it's not that expensive to go get them.
It doesn't save you a whole lot of money. I was kind of disappointed in that.
I mean, I'll be happy with saving any bit of money.
Yeah.
At this point,
If I could save at least $15, that makes me happy after tax.
There you go.
I mean, I've already invested so much into this hobby, like, and any dime saved, I'll be like, yep, thank you.
Helps out.
Yep.
Um,
I can put that towards the next box.
So I think one of the best things that I love about the Fanatics is that one of the Fanatics you make out of the kit has a iron ball or whatever kind of metal you want to make it, but it has a perfect indentation of a Stormcast helmet in it.
Yeah,
I love that so much. When I paint that mine up, I'm gonna put little gold flakes in it,
yeah,
to make it look like it rubbed off.
That's great.
That's super funny.
How's your Total War coming along?
I haven't played it in a while. I had family in town this week, so
here's a real quick thing. So apparently the Deepkin with that eel charge can mortal wound the Fanatics first before the Fanatics go off, because it happens after.
It depends on the eel. There's one that does a little electric shock thing. Yeah.
So that's a great way to get rid of the Fanatics if they do enough mortal wounds.
You just gotta be careful which eels you go up against.
Yep. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
I don't know. Yeah, Total War hasn't gone very far just because I don't have time. It's a very time-intensive game. It takes forever. But I am enjoying it. I'm personally doing a Skaven campaign, and then when I play with Jack, I'm doing dwarves.
Well, I
was watching that the other day. Yeah.
I'm on spring break now from college. So I'm going to have some free time if you want to do another campaign.
Yeah, dude.
Free time. Or anybody else that plays, because I've never done a multiplayer campaign, and I really want to.
Totally. My biggest thing is just time.
Yeah. That's usually the problem with why I don't get to play as much.
It's one of those games where you guys are saying, you got to sit down, you got to put time to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, I have this painting hobby that I actually really enjoy and relaxes me.
Yep, it's kind of my thing too. We'll do it, sometimes Jack and I, when we're playing, like we'll both have all our paint stuff ready, and then we'll alternate who's painting and stuff like that, and then so like when he's taking his turn, I'll be painting and stuff like that, and then when it's my turn, he'll be painting.
Is that what you guys did that at the one time you guys did the hangout and streamed it, didn't you?
Yep. We were doing some hobby, and I find that I get a lot less done than I normally do, but it's still progress, and you're just hanging out with people. So
yeah, I've done a lot on my Slaughter Queens, more than I thought I was going to get this evening.
I know I got one more of these stupid scaffolding things to finish. I'm doing the wash first to get the wooden recesses in nice and dark.
Yeah.
So I'll let them dry overnight. But the knot holes themselves turned out pretty well, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, they look great.
That's all that matters.
I can't wait to see them on rerolling ones.
Yep. Yeah, if I'm just doing Scryer, that shouldn't take too long because between me and Shu on that channel, like we have quite a few Skaven things. We can combine our forces together and
get some cool lists out there.
Yeah. I'm so happy that Skaven got that book. I can't wait to see more of them out.
Honestly, I'm having a bit of analysis paralysis when you're looking at the same thing I talk about the Gloomspite Gitz, as far as like looking at it and being like, so many things in the army look good, and I just don't know how to combine them to make a coherent list.
Yeah.
Because I think the real winner of the Skaven book is Pestilence, and I think there's going to be a tournament player who figures it out and is going to just rock the scene with it.
As they should.
I think what really worked for me, though, for Gloomspite was the fact that I knew off the bat that I just wanted Moon Clan, and I wanted to heavily focus on that.
Oh, yeah.
So it's easier for me to do that way. But
Totally.
I agree with you. If you're going into, like, Skaven, and you're like, I want to play Skaven, but I don't know exactly what clan to play, that's going to be a lot of...
Or just a pure Skaven. That's it.
It's just going to be a lot of reading.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of just going through and just trying to figure out exactly what... And a lot of trial and error, too, then, because, you're going to have to try to figure out, like, what style of Skaven works best for you.
Yep. Yeah, and then you had to experiment with the battalions, which I don't think are that great, but I think it's that way on purpose.
Yeah.
There's a lot to explore.
Yeah.
I like the excuse me, the one battalion for clan. What is it? It is the Skull. It's the Skulk Mob Horde. That's the one where you take the 3+ units of Stabas or Shootas, and then 3 units of Luna Smash Fanatics or the Spore Spalato ones. But then once per battle, you can use your Loon Shrine ability to bring back a full unit that died. So I've experimented with it in like list building, and like you take one 60-man mob of your spears and 2 like 20 mobs
That's
of yeah. So then the spears all die. You can bring them. You try to hopefully bring them all back.
Yeah, no joke. Oh man, that's actually something Mulder has with their battalion, where the leader of the army can, on a 4-up, bring back a pack unit or whatever. So like you can have a big 12-man thing of rat ogres, and they come back again, which just sounds terrible.
Mean.
Oh, I'd be heartbreaking a little bit. I finally killed them all. They're back.
Also, man, I don't know what people are talking about. I've seen some folks say like, "Oh, the rat ogres aren't that good." Like, they are nasty. But,
I mean,
you know what? I think next week when I go up for the Pathler, I want to try to find a Skaven player. I want to fight against him because I know he has a bunch.
yeah.
I feel like let's do this.
He currently he got the Help Hit Abomination in.
Oh boy, never mind. You go first. Let me know how it is.
That's
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, it is 11:30 here, and it is, I guess, 2:30 for you guys over there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna start winding down. Is there anything you guys want to promote or talk about? I mean,
Follow me on Instagram.
yeah. What's your Instagram handle?
Mars Mini Painting.
Mars Mini Painting. All right. I was try nudge me, and I'll leave it in the show notes. I have to wait for the video to like finish compressing before I can do that kind of stuff. But yeah, that sounds awesome. Jesse, do you have anything that you do as far as online? As far as no, just living the dream. Okay, cool.
Living life, taking it easy.
I just poke my head on you guys and see how you're all doing.
Sweet. Well, you're both welcome on anytime like that. This is a good discussion. Had a lot of fun. So thank you all so much for joining us. Hope you had some cool painting time, and look forward to seeing you again real soon. Good night, you guys.
Good night.